Welcome everyone to Total Nonstop Impact Talk for Impact fans. She's right here on the TNI Network. This is Trent Long, my co-host Jay Bode. Jay won't say hello to the people.
What's up, everybody?
We are joined. We have a special guest tonight. The guys, as you can see, can you hear us down? He's tapping his thing. He's saying he can't hear us. I think there's audio problems. All of a sudden, we got audio problems.
Oh no!
Oh no! What happened? All right. Well, anyway, guys, while he's figuring it out, while he's figuring it out, guys, we got First Sabinite in the house today. He's tapping buttons. He's trying to get it all to work. I think he left.
First Sabinite has left the building.
First Sabinite has left the building like TNA left the Asylum. So he's going to pop back here in a second. But guys,
Christmas.
Guys, we got First Sabinite in here. That is the dude. He's coming back. Let's come back. Here we go. Let's see if we can hear us. Can you hear us now?
Yeah. Totally lost audio.
There we go. Somebody,
sorry about that.
Somebody thinks you are Braun Strowman in here. That's what they're thinking.
I've gotten that before. It's weird.
But guys, just a little background. If you've missed it, Sabinite here is the man on the scene, so to speak. He was at. Now, was it every single? You never missed a single one down there?
I started going in July of 2003. Maybe missed 7, 8, 10, something like that.
Okay, so but either way, he was in the Asylum. Like all the shows we reviewed,
nice.
He was there. And today is NWA TNA number 111, the final Asylum show ever until they went back for Homecoming 2019. And then they did some. No, they did a house show in there, I think, in between a house show or two. But the final Wednesday night Asylum show, that was it. This is the one. They left it. I got some weird things I got to say about it because you wouldn't think it's the last Asylum show. The way they aired it, the way they said, the way TNA was on the air, I was like, oh, I'll see you next week. But you definitely didn't see him next week. So we'll get into it. But man, Sabinite, man, like, dude, thanks for joining us. As always, this is your second or third time on. It's awesome to have you back.
Yeah, I love it. I love you guys so much. Like, this has been actually like a lot of fun, like going down a memory lane here. Like, this is really cool. I'm glad you guys have started doing it. I'm glad I looked up. So how I found you guys?
Yeah,
I was actually trying to find maybe like a Daily Motion video of this guy Damon that we used to go to the shows with when he was one of the strap match fans.
Okay.
That they had, and then I just found you guys talking about it. Couldn't find videos, but I found you guys talking about it. I was like, I got to tell them like all about that because I can't remember who it was, but they thought they were like Planted fans, but no, everybody was real. So
that's awesome. Yeah, for anybody who hasn't seen it, so Sabinite he'll be in the chat, and as we're talking about something on the show, he's giving us like background info on what was happening in the building, like what happened with the fans. Like we'll be confused about something. He's like, no, actually, they taped it here, they taped that here. So it's like, dude, it's been like pop-up video having you in the chat, like facts and shit. So I thank you for that. It's been a great. You've done several episodes where you've been in the chat doing that for us. So, dude, thank you very much for adding so much to the to the like. It's almost like having like that director's commentary track going along with it.
Right, right. It's wild, especially for me because I've watched, and I might have missed a couple episodes, but. Man, I watched all these like a brand new fan.
Yeah, his first time doing it.
And that was a really unique experience. Because we watched, the regular Impact like every week and review it, whatever. So to do this all new, and we did this 2 years ago or whenever we started this, it may not be everyone's cup of tea, and that's fine. But dude, I'm so proud of this series. I really am. I've had a blast. Even though we chuckle and we say, "Oh God, this episode really wasn't that good," and then the next one will be like gangbusters, balls to the wall, awesome. But dude, win or lose, man, this series is one of the things I'm most proud of doing podcasting. Because I've never done that with anything. Like, I'll review shit and I'll talk news and stuff. But to go start to finish on a classic series from 20-ish years ago, give or take a little, dude, I'm proud of that.
Yeah, me too, man. It's been awesome to do that. Because I watched them all. It's interesting. We had 3 different takes. Sabinite was in the house on these shows. I ordered them all with my buddy Dave. We watch them all every Wednesday, and Jay's watching them for the first time as a new viewer completely. So like,
oh wait, Dave was supposed to be here.
That's right. He was supposed to be too. I was talking to him yesterday. I totally forgot.
Oh,
he needs a lot of planning, man. Like he's got kids.
No,
he's like, there's people with kids. There's always like a fucking soccer game or something. Like you know, something to do. You gotta
I've got kids too. Oh, sorry, that's not.
Absolutely. Do never call your action figures kids again, Jay. I'm so glad this is over after this. But guys. Hey, listen, everybody, thanks for being in the chat. Hopefully you guys all watched the last one here. This is the episode that pretty much transitioned it into Impact Wrestling, the TV show, which is what we have today. So it's been airing in parallel for about 14 weeks at this point. But after this, it pretty much alley-ooped it over to, you know, Fox Sports completely, and then to Spike, and then, you know, to everything else. And then today here on Access. So this is it. This is like the Asylum era is very classic. I look back upon it very fondly. You know, even Russo, we had him on, and he said there's some of the best shows that nobody ever got to see because they're behind a paywall. So I'm glad we were able to do this, and I'm excited to talk about the last one. But Sabinite, let's before we even like jump in, let's see the stuff. We got stuff on this show today.
All right.
So background. Tell us what the Sabin section was. Tell the people what's the Sabin section.
So basically, the Sabin section we saw. You know, we originally saw the heel section.
Yes.
That was the big deal. There were some other offshoot sections. I think there was like a rowdy section at one point. So I was just like, man, we're a section like up here, like at the top of the bleachers, like every week. Let's have a name. But you know, we were kind of the work rate marks. Mm. So we were like, we got to come up with something like that. And we ended up meeting a bunch of the wrestlers, just hanging out after the show. And I always thought Sabin was the coolest one because he was really young, but he was super humble. And he was totally nice to like everybody. And he was just happy to be here, go lucky. And like, you know, you just kind of gravitate towards that kind of personality. So I was like, oh man, let's mess with him a little bit. Let's get him over a little bit more. You know, like he had the Hail Sabin, which I'll get to that in a minute. You asked for the Hail section stuff.
All right.
Let me know when you want me to share the pictures, and I'll share them on here.
Yeah, we got visuals today, guys. Yeah.
So, you know, he had the Hail Sabin champ, and we were like, let's get him more over. So we started just naming the section after him, and it kind of rolled from there. Really, like people just started liking us and like sitting with us more, and kind of just went from like a 3-man band to a good like 10-person, 15 sometimes group up top.
That's awesome. Did you guys meet up beforehand and like get food and then go to the show, or like was it?
Mostly just met up at the show.
Okay.
It's better than that creepy heel section.
The heel section, I can't figure them out, man. They still exist in some capacity today in Wisconsin. At least I see them there. So, J-Bo, you got to go take care of those heel section guys, man. They're in your neck of the woods now.
I'd actually have to get out more first. But
so would they.
So I'll tell you guys what, if you ever watch an Asylum show, you can't miss the signs. They got the Sabin section, Hail Sabin. Like, you can't miss these guys. So, like, they're very prominent, like, usually hard camera side. You can't miss them. So, sometimes they'll be either a little higher or lower in the bleacher, but you'll see the sign at some point if the camera pans. Yeah, you guys were very prominent. All right, so let's see the props. Let's see what we got.
I tried to find the signs, couldn't. It's a big, big storage building, but I found a lot of other stuff.
Okay, all right, we're gonna see, guys. This is stuff that the Sabin section had 20 years ago in the Asylum. I can't wait to see this. All right, what we got here? First off, all right, show us what you got first. Let's bring out some of it.
All right. Well, I showed the picture of it on Twitter, but that bad boy.
Sabin section T-shirt.
That is.
We had those
slick.
made around May or June, right before they left. So made about 300 of them. Sold a lot of them. Had some personally made.
No kidding.
One specifically for Sabin. They couldn't wear them on TV.
What does it say on the back?
It's really bad. The guy fucked it all up.
Sabinitis.
I wanted it to be like down in a column, but I don't know.
But are there any left? You got any left?
No.
Oh, they're all left.
This one and maybe one more with the sleeves cut out, and that's about it.
Because that looks like it's in really good shape.
It looks
It is
clean,
for
yeah.
you know being that old. I should have put it in a fucking frame because it was signed, but.
So were you guys selling them just outside the venue, just
Yeah,
knocking them out of your trunk?
Yep,
That's awesome.
That's exactly like they didn't last very long. I wanted to put like a little shop on the website that we had, the SatanSection.com website. Didn't make it.
Man, no
It
shit,
didn't
man.
even make it past the last show.
No
But
kidding.
we gave one to Tiny. He actually almost snuck it on the TV one time, but they got onto him for that. We gave one to Santel. I think
Rick
we gave one
Santel.
to some of the cameramen for always, showing us some love because they really gravitated towards us. Like
Big time.
every open, they were pointed right at us.
Always.
Yeah.
Every single week, they loved us.
Do you still have the design for that? Like the file?
I think I do.
How about this? If you're up for it, I'll make you a deal. We got the Pro Wrestling Tees store. We can submit designs to it. You want to do a retro, like just for the 20th year? Anything that sells, that's yours. We'll host the shirt for you. We'll put it up there. If you got the file, you get me the file. We'll put it on our PWT store, and Sabinite will handle. I mean, they'll ship it and everything. You don't have to touch it, but for all the love you gave us, all the info you gave us, it's the least we can do is host that shirt for you.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, send J Bone,
right.
send Jay the file. We'll figure it out from there, man. Just get us the file. We'll take it from there.
Sweet.
All right,
Awesome.
Jay, look
Hell
at
yeah.
that, huh? We're gonna piss off some Impact brass with this one. Love it.
This musty ass old smells terrible. But this was the
Smells
original $10, really badly sewn together Sharkboy Mask they would sell.
Did they
there.
sell that at the show?
Yeah, they did.
Oh,
They
that's
did.
incredible.
It is really, really bad quality, but
This is the newer ones now. Look at these. The J Bone's got one of the ones.
with actual care. I mean, look at that. It looked exactly like this too. Like this is actually in pretty decent shape, but it was really badly put together. But
That's hilarious.
That's why it was $10. I actually wore this on Splash Mountain one time and got the picture of it. I'll try to get that at some point.
Oh, that's incredible.
Do you know Chris Rutledge? Is this one of your boys
Yes,
here?
he was in the same section.
Look at that, Chris. What's up, man? We're gonna we got to host it just for Chris. We got to.
Yeah, he's in that last picture that is on Twitter.
Okay, we're gonna put those pictures up in a second. But yeah,
You want me to share those now?
Put them up, Jack.
Yeah.
Go for it.
The Sharkboy Mask. This is amazing, man. Like, and for the guy, and actually everybody in the chat, do me a favor. Tell us, when did you start watching? Are you an Asylum person? Are you, Fox Sports, Spike? Look at this now. Look at that. That's
okay. So this is the shirt that he just shared. So
yeah.
Okay, and then we got. Look at this.
It's you. This is you.
We were big. Well, no, that's Nate Webb right there with.
It's Nate.
Saban.
Spider Nate Webb.
We always loved that picture just because Spider was kind of our explosion.
Oh my God!
section.
It's
Spider
me with
Nate.
hair.
It's J Bone with hair. Yeah.
But for explosion only, we were known as the Spider section for a little bit.
You had a Spider Nate Webb sign too, right?
Yeah,
That was you guys.
yeah.
I saw you
That
guys.
was probably Chris and Morrissey.
Okay.
They were more so real
Love
big
it.
fans of them, but
I love Spider Nate Webb. He works for AAW where I work, and I've seen we worked with him a bunch of times. He's still great. He's still very entertaining. It was a shock to me that he never got signed because he was like Mr. Explosion for a while.
well, I'll get to that later. But
Okay.
I'm really upset about the fact that he's not on the show.
Yeah.
We were
Yeah.
mad.
All
All right,
right.
so
Here's the next one.
Now that is Damon the night of the fan strap match between
Okay.
Dusty Rhodes and Jeff Jarrett. He legit jumped over the top rope because he was like 6'8".
Yeah, he looks like a big guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
So he loved that. That's one of his favorite.
That's a
things.
great photo, man. That's a great photo.
that's
The
great.
red canopy concession stand. When I walked into the Asylum for Homecoming 19, I marked out because I saw the canopy. I go, that's it. I'm really here because I see the fucking canopy.
Right.
Nice. We got one more picture, right, Jay?
All right, here we go. Here's
This
looks
is the
like the
group
whole
here.
gang.
It's pretty dark, but that is the last picture that we ever took.
Oh man,
Anybody?
dude.
There's Saban in there, and then
Yeah, he's in the
just
middle.
about all of us. There were some people missing that just didn't show up or couldn't even get in
Where
because it
are
was
you in
packed.
this one here?
I'm holding the sign.
That's okay. Yeah, it's dark.
Yeah.
Oh, cause, yeah,
back here.
When I had hair.
Oh, right here. Okay, gotcha.
The last show was packed. I mean, you could see how they had to spread it. Even like it looks like reconfigured seats.
A lot of the freebies did not get in that day.
Yeah, I bet. That's good. Did they have the crane camera that last show? It looked like they were doing crane shots.
I think they did for a little bit there. Once, I mean, obviously they got a little bit more money with the Fox deal, but they kind of expanded a little bit.
It looked like some of the footage was done crane because that actually showed some of the crowd right in front of the concession stand. You could see there was at least 12 rows deep in front of the concessions, and that section in past episodes maybe had a
3
row or
4,
2.
yeah,
right, yeah,
if even, yeah.
No, is Chris in this photo too? Is Chris?
Chris is in there somewhere.
Okay,
he's right. Is this right here, right in the middle?
Well, that's Sabin. I'm talking Chris Rutledge. Is he in this photo?
Oh, sorry,
Chris Rutledge somewhere in the back.
Okay. Hey, listen. If we could turn this into a party, man. Rutledge, you want to come on here too and tell some experience?
He's right on the right side of Sabin right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
There he is. Okay, cool. This is cool, man. Very cool. All right, minimize this, Jay. Let's see the rest of the props. Then we'll kick into the show.
All right.
So, last thing we ever got from Sabin, he made these personal for us.
This is so cool.
Personalized them right there for us. This was supposed to be a T-shirt that they were mocking up for him for a while, but he printed all these off for everybody, handing them out. And he made sure to give this one specifically to me because he had his email address on there, so we could keep in touch. And then some other pictures. Jimmy Hart from like 03 came through and brought his own pictures to hand out. And then some of the ones that they would sell, these bigger ones.
That first backdrop.
Oh, Kash, nice.
Got
Konnan,
Kash, Konnan. Let's see.
That's so cool. That's the first promo background. Look at this, Sandman.
Oh, that's epic.
We got Trinity. Would always personalize them.
I love me some Trinity, man. That's my girl.
Truth.
Look at that. This is so
NW.
cool. I love it.
Oh,
fair tag team all time. Raven. Too. This is great.
We got Styles, and then we've got the most rare one of all because he maybe showed up once or twice, but
Jeff.
he was not very interactive, but we finally caught him at one point.
So you mean they would come to the table and do these at the
They would either come kind of outside every now and then. They would get like the loudest fans or whatever and maybe a group of like 15 people and pull them over to like this roped off area of the dancer cage, which was just right behind the curtain, and mostly mid-carders would come out and hang out.
Sure.
You would just catch them walking to their car afterwards. Maybe like an hour after the show. Most of them were just like, oh yeah. I mean, we that's where we made really good friends with like Simon Diamond that I told you guys about. That really had our back with the ICP thing.
That's so cool. Pat's a good dude, man. Like he's still a good dude. He's doing stuff with NWA now, which is awesome that he's back around and whatnot. But like if anybody hasn't been to the Asylum, it's a very comfy kind of layout too. The parking lot is right there. The doors are right there. I mean, what you see on the show with the backstage and outside and parking lot, all that stuff, Jay, like it's not impossible to like have fans hanging out and meet these guys going to their car because like it literally is right there. It was, but you lived there at the time, right? It was a thing to do on Wednesday.
Yeah. I lived maybe 20 minutes away from Nashville. Yeah, in Mount Juliet. That's
so cool, man. I always wanted to set up like it's a weekday wrestling show, and it's like me and the guys we're getting together. That's what we do on Wednesdays, and it's like you saw the genesis of some of the greatest, like a new company and some of the greatest talent ever to step in the ring. And it's like you see these guys,
and we saw it each week for $10, man.
$10,
we saw it in person for $10.
I can't even
15
imagine.
if you were at ringside, which
crazy.
It's nuts.
I mean, it's wild. It's wild to think about like what we got to see. Like not even like Styles or Killings or even Jarrett, but like we got Dusty Rhodes, we got Roddy Piper.
Yeah.
I mean,
Zabisco
like
and Harley Race.
Some names right there, man. Like we actually got to see in person that a lot of people did. Never got to see. So
it's remarkable.
That was wild.
That's so cool, man. It is so cool. You gotta. So Rutledge pointing this out now, and you mentioned you're gonna tell us about this.
Okay, so 2 weeks ago, I kind of talked about it in the chat. It's the The "Don't Sell Us Out."
The "Don't Sell Us Out" sign.
Right.
let's tell the people about this one here.
So they, like I said before, they never would actually acknowledge openly that they're leaving,
right,
and they're not coming back.
They still
Because
did it on the show. It's crazy.
Yeah. So
Like, oh, by the way,
we all knew by now because they always took like I think 2 weeks off, for I think the state fair in September or something. They always took 2 weeks off. That's when they did the Super X Cup in 03. So I actually mentioned that to Mike Johnson in an email. I was really delusional about them leaving. So I was like, hey man, they're gone for 2 weeks. And Mike Johnson sent me one back. He was like, they haven't booked anything since then. Sorry.
Damn.
Heart broke.
Damn.
So, we were just like, fuck that. We got to get back at them and like let them know. So we, we took our usual signs and we were like, we're going to mask this one and like put something on the other side, but "Don't Sell Us Out" upside down. So you could just flip it real quick and then boom, catch them off guard.
This is tactical.
Yeah. We went really far with it. We had like somebody else that wasn't really associated with us. Some girl that was like, hey, can I hold a sign? I was like, can you?
You can hold this one.
You can hold this one. You're not associated with us. So, they pan over us and like, boom, they show her. And I was like, flip it. She flips it. "Don't Sell Us Out." And they cut really quick. You saw it.
I saw it. You could see it on the show. They see that. Oh, shit.
Yeah, they were not happy. Rick Santel, I think 5 minutes into the first match, comes and like taps us on the back. And we look and he's just got this face looking up at us like, just disappointed, just so disappointed. He was like, they're making me get the sign.
Damn.
And we were like, oh man, like the other side had something that we wanted to keep. So we were like, can you do something about that? He's like, I'll see. So
awkward position for the poor guy.
It's just like, I don't know, man. So he comes back and he, magic markered all over it and he's just blacked out. Well, Chris Rutledge, being the total dick that he is, during the Dusty Rhodes Vince Russo promo, maybe after that match or the next one, you can see it in the background if you're looking for it. He's holding up the blacked out fucking sign, like taunting them like a total asshole. Like you can see it in the background, him like kind of, trying to get it in frame. Oh man,
It's fantastic.
We were playing with fire at that point.
I love it.
We were just pissed.
I feel bad for poor Santel, Jay. Like, you're a rookie trying to get a job, and they're like,
man,
like go piss off the fans who've been.
It's like they won't even pay for my shoulder surgery, man. Come on, don't do this.
And that's crazy because you watch some of those first the Impact Orlando shows, and there's sometimes 1, 2, 3 signs aimed at Nashville.
Yeah.
And those are up the whole show, not getting taken down, front row, on camera all the time. So it's like,
You got Rutledge feeling guilty 20 years later, poor bastard. He's like,
man.
He's going to tweet Impact's account right now, like, man, I'm sorry. It's like, what, for what? Like, nobody working there even knows anymore.
20 years later, what's this guy's doing?
I can imagine if Bob Ryder was still alive, rest his soul, but he was alive, he'd be like, you sons of, he'd probably be in here going, you bastards, you drove me crazy trying to edit this shit out.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome, man. The stories you've told us about it has been awesome. So let's do this. You got any more props you want to show us real quick? Anything else?
That's about it. Like I said, I couldn't find the signs.
That's fine. Yeah,
I hate that because they do exist. I swear to you,
somewhere.
they exist somewhere in that big storage building that we've got.
I'll tell you, like me and Dave watching them, like we always noticed you guys. It's always the Sabin section because when Sabin first debuted, he botched a lot. So anybody who watches, like he was nervous. He was 22, like he's botching a lot. And then we and Dave did not like. We're like, this guy, look at this kid, trying to do too much. Slow down, kid. And then when you guys came up, we're like, man, I can't believe there's a whole section for this guy, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously, we love him to death. After that, I mean, it grew on us. He grew on us so quickly, but I remember thinking, I can't believe these guys. There's a whole section for this kid. He keeps botching. It was just funny. But to this day, what's amazing about Chris Sabin, the guy is wrestling like he's still 22. Today.
Yeah.
That's 3 ACL tears, and the guy's still like, it's incredible to me, man.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable to me. So
guy's having a career year, and just, win or lose, he's killing it.
Yeah,
just killing it, man.
It's nuts, man. But let's do the show, and then we'll add at the end we'll do some more just kind of inside talk. Honestly,
don't let me forget about the heel section, because that's that's a feud. That's a feud.
Hey, does your buddy want to get in here?
Chris, if you want to jump in, you want to come in here? Is he? Are you guys still in touch? Like, you guys hang out, or?
Just he's in Kentucky now.
Okay.
So.
Maybe save a section to
there
the end.
Touch.
Save a section forever, baby.
Chris, if you want to jump in here, I don't know if your buddy's on Twitter here, but this is my Twitter. Hit me up, and I'll send you an invite.
Hit up Jay if you want to pop in. I'd love it. We can, as long as you guys want to stay on after we do the breakdown of the show. Please do come on in. But let's jump in, guys. Let's knock it out, and then we'll talk some more inside stuff. And you can definitely give us all the inside track on this shit, because to me, this was not set up to be a last show whatsoever. Like, no. It didn't feel like it.
Outside of the main event, you wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know.
And even the main event was just kind of.
Oh, the main event. Yeah, it pissed me off quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. We paid zero attention to the main event.
It did. I've never been a big Jeff Hardy guy. Like, I don't hate him, but I don't love him. It was one of those things where I never went out of my way for him. So I was not really invested in this build. It was built nice and long, but it didn't catch me as much to be like, oh man, I gotta see this. So it was whatever with that.
We were the only people in the crowd when he debuted that were anti-Hardy.
Yeah,
out of the entire building, we were the only ones trying to get AJ still over, because it was just like,
yeah,
it was a year removed from that really awkward ROH appearance that he had.
Yeah,
if you remember that weird triple threat at Death Before Dishonor 03.
That's right.
That's really weird, and he got booed out of the fucking universe at that show.
It was weird. You're right.
And everybody was just like, "You don't care about wrestling, get out of here."
Yep.
And he still kind of had that residual effect, and we were like, "Fuck that, we're not. You're getting over on AJ Styles, no."
Yeah, which I think is shitty too. They set up AJ for that. They could have put anybody else in there,
Exactly.
But let's kick it off. Let's start the show. I think Rutledge might jump in here, Jay. He said he's down, so have him contact you.
Yep, I'm sending it to him right now.
All right, cool. All right, so this is NWA TNA number 111, September 8th, 2004. My sister's birthday, so I can never remember this. I was at my fucking buddy Dave's house watching this instead of celebrating my sister's birthday, clearly. So on the couch, we probably went balls out for this, since this was the last one. We probably went deep dish pizza, breadsticks, you fucking name it. This was.
You're making me hungry for pizza.
I know. This was a gluttonous day, and I remember this particularly. We had a bunch of people over, a bunch of friends over. Dave's now wife was there, who can give two shits. Well, other than the fact that she was happy that her husband is no longer, or her boyfriend at the time is no longer going to be tied up on Wednesdays with me watching this bullshit anymore. So.
She's just doing this from the other room, cleaning up all the guys' messes. Like, whatever. She's just ready to for Wednesdays to be hers again. So, which they were after this. Then I started coming over on Fridays. No, I'm kidding. But Jay, I'll do the whole thing. What were you doing September 8th, 2004? You weren't watching this. I know Sabinite was in the audience. I know he was doing. He was just wrecking shit in the audience. What were you doing, Jay? I might have started getting a whiff of what was going on with TNA, because I know they put out that penny, 1 cent pay-per-view somewhere between here and they were talking about the 3 episodes they did post here, a 3 best ofs,
yeah,
$10 ones, and then I think somewhere between there and the November Victory Road, which they first advertised on the last one here.
Yep.
That's when I really started oh man, who are these guys? I don't remember specifically how, it's all fuzzy, like my back. But
I should have dug out. I got a mailer. I got a little mail from my cable company about Victory Road that year. to advertise. Like they sent me, I don't know if it was TNA or the cable company sent it to me, but I got a little thing like, you like wrestling, you should get this, you know. And I was like, oh shit, look at that. So I still got that somewhere too. But all right, so guys, it kicked off. You know what I noticed during this? This was the debut, at least on Wednesdays. I'm sure they were doing it on the Fox Sports Net, of the satellite opening montage when it was like, you know, TNA wrestling, the new face of sports entertainment. It was like, you know, and it was all the satellites and shit. I didn't realize, like, this is the first time they showed that on a Wednesday, and then that's used a lot for the next couple years. That was like the opening trigger of the show starting, and so it just, that nostalgia came to me when I saw. I'm like, holy shit, that reminds me of like Spike days, you know. And then the show recap of everything leading up to the show, and then the six-sided rings there, obviously. And then the crane shot is being used for this. I did notice the crane kind of angling coming in, and they had a lot more room on the side. So I'm like, the crane has to be there, because the way that the camera was coming in was nuts.
There's one thing from the Impact prior to this.
Oh shoot! I always forget to recap that.
No, look, there wasn't that much. I mean, I can quick buzz through the matches.
Yeah, do it.
But there's one critical thing that is very important to this episode, and is actually kind of like you foresee the future. Like, we know exactly what it means, but people back then may have been like, what? Because Jeff Jarrett starts out the episode and just talking about, you know, the big match next week. And yeah, see, there's Critical. See, I knew he was going to show up here. Critical's thing.
Yep.
Yeah, he's listening.
You know, he doesn't comment at all, but the word critical is said. He just like comes out of nowhere. Like,
he's like, yeah. So he's talking, you know, he's talking straight to Jeff. He's looking in the camera, and he mentions, he's like, there isn't going to be any outsiders allowed in unless they're friends of mine.
Ah, okay.
And that's the one line, and then they play that the next week at the last NWA TNA episode. So that's one that's, you know, it should stick, you know, in people's minds. Like, okay, so like nothing happens here, but that's a sure sign that Nash and Holler gonna show up later.
Yeah, which they do at Victory Road and all that.
Right, right.
We got Rutledge in here coming. Look at this.
There we go.
The Sabin section has infiltrated the podcast. This is bananas. Look at you two, huh?
It's a reunion.
What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Thanks for being on. When was the last time you guys talked face to face like this?
Been a couple of years, actually.
Look at that, huh? Look, J-Bo, look at us. We're reuniting old friends, you know, fucking hecklers from the crowd. Look at this, man.
Dude, we got to play like the Kermit song, Together Again.
I love it. Perfect time. We're just about to start the review, and then after we finish like the match and all that stuff, we'll talk more inside stuff. But Sabin, I told us everything, you know, what you guys are doing, but like, you still got any props and shit left over? Like, he has a bunch of shit left around, man. You still got this stuff laying around?
I'll tell you what I did have for forever though, and threw away like a couple. I think my dad threw it away like 5 years ago. But I had that flag, the NWA flag that they like ripped up on TV, and like they just threw it in the garbage can.
Yeah,
and so
it smelled like ass.
Yeah, that's why we threw it away. I kept it in a plastic bag, but it had a couple signatures on it.
Yeah, I think it was one that Piper used, and then somebody tore it up.
Piper used that.
It's used in the intro, when he came back and he stretched it out. Like,
we just yanked it out of the trash.
No shit.
Took it home.
Yeah,
you took it home. That's awesome. That's so.
I wish I still had my Sabin section shirt. Actually,
look at that. We're gonna reprint them, man. We're doing a reprint. It's gonna be on Pro Wrestling Tees. He's gonna get me the file, and we're gonna do it for the 20th year. And then
I'm all about it. I support it. That sounds wonderful.
I think it's only fitting we do that, because you
probably
guys
get the color right finally.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. I'm glad to do it. Well, listen, man. Let's run through the matches, and then we'll talk some inside stuff. So hang out for a few minutes. But Jay, go ahead, just run down real quick. The what is it? Impact number? Is it Fox Sports 15 that leads to this?
It's 14.
14. Just blaze through it so we can jump into this.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
All right. So Abyss, Alex Shelley, and NOSAWA. Wonder who takes the pin in this one.
Yeah, no shit.
Poor guy. Versus 3 Live Crew. And 3 Live Crew gets a win here, and this is still all leading up to the demise of the whole relationship between Abyss and
the Goldilocks and her baby bear.
I can't stand saying baby bear. It's just, it's like another universe, you know?
How come you guys didn't have anti-baby bear signs?
I brought a sign that said grizzly bear, Alex Shelley. It's not very creative, but I had that to try to.
There you go.
Maybe take away from it.
We did shoot for Shelley. We did.
Yeah, we love Shelley. That debut was nice. That was a good debut.
Another guy.
He put together some good spots on that.
Another guy who still looks like $1 million today, and is 42, 44 years old. It looks amazing. It's unreal with these guys, man.
He's killing it.
Go ahead, Jay.
All right, then we got Romeo versus Kid Kash. Kid Kash gets the win here. He puts Romeo through a table, and this is all leading up into the
AJ
the match versus AJ next week. So just setting an example, a preview of coming attractions, if you will. Then we got Sharkboy and D-Ray 3K. We're gonna make some throwback D-Ray 3K shirts. I think that'd be like sounds just awesome.
Why do I feel like you two got high with D-Ray at some point in the Asylum days? You at least happened once, or somebody from the section did.
Maybe.
You see
maybe Damon.
You see these?
Yeah, Damon would have been number 1 in the line. 2 and 3 and 4 too.
He had a move during this called the Fro Buster.
The Fro Buster.
Where he picks his fro and then just falls down into a headbutt. It's called the Fro Buster. I'm like, this is incredible.
How has this guy not been back? How have they not dug him out of something and just brought him back for kicks? Sharkboy's been on. He was on like a week ago, apparently.
I forgot he existed. I was reading the rundown of this card before the show, and I was like, D-Ray 3000, and I was like, oh yeah, that dude.
Yeah.
Had to Google him and make sure he wasn't like a fugue state or a dream or something.
I mean, it's been 20 years, guys. Can you believe that, man? That's like, I'm sure, like, as y'all like talk about it and we talk about the show, like, it feels like you can, like, you remember this, like, when you're blazing off like facts in the chat. I'm like, it's 20 years ago, but if it feels like yesterday as you hear about it again, you're like, damn, I can't believe it's been 2 decades since this happened.
Right.
Crazy.
I'm actually going to Slammiversary in a couple, like, what is it, a month now?
A month, yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to that.
I was thinking about, so I guess they're doing it. So the Asylum building is torn down, but they're doing it in what's I think called Building 3. I guess it's one right behind it, which still exists, which NWA ran recently. I bet, from what I understand.
I think I heard that. Yeah.
So it's same grounds, the fair grounds. It's not the actual Asylum, but it's still. I mean, I think it's cool that they're still doing it there. I think that's a nice little homage to the whole thing.
It's appropriate, yeah. I hope they can get a decent amount of people in there.
Yeah, you got to bring some guests out for that one too. But go ahead, Jay.
All right, we got Chasyn and Rance. That's a hell of a
fucking A. He was on this.
I saw that too.
Yeah.
Oh my!
Okay, so
God.
I worked with him one of my first shows in Florida. Looking back, man, I should have known.
Really? People knew then, even kind of thing?
Yeah, even then, man, I should have known because he was talking up someone that did not look of age.
Fuck.
That I remember, at intermission, I should.
It's all ringing a bell now. I'm like, Chasyn.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
This guy still has a school. Like, he's still pumping like trainees out. It's crazy, dude. I don't know.
Careful how you word that.
I know. I really that was a horrible choice of words.
But Christmas.
Fucking Christ. All right, go on with this. All right.
All right. Well,
I can't believe he was on this.
He gets squashed by Scott D'Amore, and Scott D'Amore actually looks incredible in this match. And I'm not giving Chasyn Rance any credit for this. Scott D'Amore pulls off a moonsault. A moonsault. And they're talking, they're like, oh my God, a 300-pound guy just did a moonsault. How is Chasyn Rance still alive? It was hilarious.
Amazing.
Hold on, calm down, just breathe.
That's what he had to do.
Chasyn Rance definitely wasn't breathing after that moonsault. Adam Flash.
I remember Adam Flash.
Adam Flash versus
He was,
Monty Brown. That was less than a minute.
Adam Flash was a wild side guy, right? For a little bit.
Adam Flash. These are some.
That's right.
Let me take a
He
look.
was like an East Coast NWA wild side. I think was that the same Adam Flash that worked a X Division title match in ROH with Styles and.
I'm going to tell you right now. I'm about to cage match. Look him up right now and tell you.
I think they had like in one of the first like 5 ROH shows. I think he did a triple threat with AJ for the X title. With,
he was
David
working
Young.
since '92. Like this guy's been
Yeah.
around a long time, man.
I mostly
that's
remember him
correct,
from
but he was a wild
EWR back in the day.
Okay, yeah.
side. EWR.
That's an EWR name right there, Adam Flash.
Yeah, he did a lot of IWA Mid-South. Wrestled a couple guys I know, actually, too. It's funny. Yeah, he did a lot of IWA Mid-South, EWA. Yeah, I'm trying to see if he did that Ring of Honor thing you're talking about, but I'm not seeing it on here. MCW looks like he was a fixture at that in Maryland for a while. And I think he is officially retired as of 2014. Last match actually looked pretty good, man. He teamed with Drew Gulak, Nate Webb, and Ruckus for his last match. It was pretty interesting.
Oh, man.
But all right, go on, Jay.
All right, last but certainly not least, we've got the Elite Guard featuring Hernandez and Onyx versus quite the dream team. And I'm a little surprised they didn't, maybe, I don't remember how often they did this team, but they're already calling this a dream team. It's AJ Styles and Jeff Hardy.
Oh, they teamed them at this show?
Yeah, they teamed them. And Hernandez does this dive over the top rope and crashes into the barrier. Like, he's down for a good chunk of the match after this. It's like one of those where, Jeff Hardy, pulls a rope down and, Hernandez just soars over and just, you can just tell by the way he goes over the rope, it's going to be an ugly as hell land. And it's just like, oh my God, how did he get up from that? Damn near killed himself. But of course, AJ Styles and Jeff Hardy win that one. So yeah, so it's not a tremendous lead into the last NWA TNA 111, but there are some key things in here to to look at. Like I said, Jeff's promo and the Abyss drama and some stuff like that. No Mayor, not that Onyx. He's doing the old 20-year-old
rap group.
Slam.
No. Not that Onyx. But all right, so let's jump into the Asylum, number 111. So here was the weird thing about 111. Like the opening match was like this weird stipulation. I'm gonna see what you guys think of this one. It's a 6-team X Division Dominance Battle Royal. That's what it's called. Like it's a mouthful. And it's Petey and Johnny Devine versus D-Ray and Sharkboy versus Michael, Shane, and Kazarian with Tracy out there. Delirious came back for this with Sanjay. Then Mikey Batts and Gerald Clark, who were basically Orlando guys, Orlando jobbers, versus Red and Sabin, which you guys were totally all over. When they mentioned Sabin, they were all
50-50. We had a sign that was 50-50 about that because
so the
there
teaming.
there was a few people. Chris will remember this. There was a few people that trying to troll us about Sabin, this guy was actually a big fan of Amazing Red and was trying to say that Red was better and just trying to fuck with us. And then they teamed them together. So to troll that guy back, I made a sign that said Sabin carries Red.
I think that was
yeah, so I made that. I think it may have gotten on TV. I can't remember, but
now we gotta go look.
We were kind of wrestling hipsters, and Red was
we were.
He's a little too spotty for us at the time. I actually have a lot of respect for Red now.
Yeah, now.
Back then, we were like, You know.
Yeah.
I love it. It's the
That's
early days
wild.
of all this. Of like, there's no Twitter, man. This is like early message
Yeah.
board fan days. You know what I mean? Like, you either knew you did it at the show, or you fought on the message board in between shows. That's how it went. Like, this was a whole new world.
Well, a real fight did happen with that Amazing Red fan at some point, I think. Didn't it?
Like, I'll
Sort
meet
of.
you in the
But
parking lot,
He chased
motherfucker.
Kid Chris down in the parking lot. I think the week before this, actually, after he like tore his ACL, garbage wrestling or something like that. It was something weird like that. Remember, he like tore his something stupid. He called the guy a nipple-headed fuck.
Yep. He said, "Fuck you, you nipple-headed fuck."
And they got into it. They got into a little bit of a scuffle.
Did he slap Canadian Chris and then run away or something?
Yeah, it was something like that. Dude ran away,
I
so he
love
had like
this.
5 friends with him.
I love it. This is phenomenal. So this was a weird match. The stipulation of this match, right, was that you're eliminating everybody, but then whoever the last two it comes down to, those guys as tag team partners will come rejoin them, and they'll have a tag match. It was such a fucking wonky match. So it came down to Mikey Batts and Jarrell Clark against Shane and Kaz. And then, like, they were beating the fucking piss out of Batts the whole match. Like, nobody knew Mikey Batts wasn't in Nashville, right? He was an Orlando jobber.
Yeah, I think that was his first
Time in, I think.
First
right?
time there. Jarrell Clark had only been there maybe 5 times total in the last like 2 years.
And then they have like Batts like upset Michael Shane to get the win. And I'm like,
Yeah, roll them up, crazy.
And I was like, why? Like, you're leaving on a Mikey Batts win. The guy, like, nobody gives a fuck. Like, it was such a weird ending. It was so
The
weird.
only other thing that I even remember about this was we were really mad that Nate didn't get this spot after basically just showing up for no money and driving on his own dime for
from Indiana
2-3 years, it seemed.
Wow.
Yeah.
That Delirious got the spot on the card, and Nate did some 6-man tag on Explosion.
So was that what it was? They were battling for, like, it was like the Explosion. It was gonna be an Explosion guy who got the spot.
No, we were just mad that he didn't get the spot over Delirious. Like, he was,
Yeah.
Delirious was just chosen, and like, I liked Delirious and liked him at the time, but nobody cared about him. Like, he hadn't been there in a while anyway. Like, it should have been Nate.
Yeah. Nate
I
was doing
remember
Explosion.
all of us were, even at the time,
we wanted Nate or Hero.
Yeah.
But they were all a crew.
One
They
of
would
them,
actually...
the actual like Explosion clique. One of them.
Well, Delirious was one of these. They would all come down together. It was
that's right.
It was Chris Hero, Nate Webb, Delirious, Daisy Hayes, and Dave Prazak.
Yeah.
And they would drive down every week from Indianapolis on their own dime, and a lot of weeks TNA would just look at them and say, "We got nothing for you."
Yeah.
And then occasionally they'd say, "Okay, you can go job out to somebody like in a squash match usually." And we had Nate like almost over basically. Like, I think because we were still in section, the rest of the crowd was starting to follow suit and like get behind Nate. So I think we were like thinking Nate might get that spot, but I guess they like.
And then when he didn't, and they march out, Sanjay with Delirious. It's just like, why is this not Nate Webb?
Yeah, I
Out
agree
of
with
everything that Nate has done, because Delirious had stopped coming for a while. Hero stopped coming like way before this.
A long time before,
Like, he hadn't been there for at least probably a year. Like, he was getting IWA and like CZW and all that stuff. Seidel kind of stopped coming. Like, Nate was pretty much like the last man standing. And
Seidel was part of the Explosion crew too.
Fucking Delirious starts, walking out on his knees, and it's just like, why is this not Nate Webb?
Yeah, that sucks.
Walking on his knees as well.
I know Prazak pretty well, and like Daisy Hayes also lived up here in Chicago. So from what I understand, they like Daisy and Prazak would drive and meet those guys in the end, and they'd all jump in another car and come down. And I remember talking in Hero, same thing. I forgot where he was living at the time. But like I talked to like Colt, was coming for a bit. I know Colt did some Explosion. Punk obviously became roster there for a while. Danny Daniels was one of my best friends. He did a few matches. I think he did 2 down there for Explosion, but he didn't make the he did 2 matches. He was more of a weekend guy with doing the he booked all around like IWA and shit around here, but and he was starting AAW around, like he's kind of laying the seeds for that up here, but I heard all the stories about the Chicago car and the Indiana car that were just, they were merging and drive for nothing. Like for nothing. These guys are, you know, putting it out there, man. And it's weird. It's you look at some of the guys who did get TV, you're like, man, how did you get not? You guys had Chris Hero, like early Chris Hero. You had, you know, Nate Webb. You had Danny Daniels. You had Cole Cabana. Like you didn't put any of these guys on at least the main show a couple times. It was just crazy to me, man.
I feel like we could talk a lot about that, and I don't want to like totally split up the review right now.
Yeah.
Maybe we can return to that because I feel like there's maybe a little more to say about that.
Okay, yeah. Well, let's do it at the end. Let's do it at the end for sure. And that kind of leads me to also the explosion talk. They have not put explosion on on their app, and I'm just shocked that they haven't because there's so many gems on there, man. But maybe one day. We go back to the back. Scott Hudson. Oh, I gotta get the bell out, man. I gotta get one final time. The Scott Hudson bell. Scott Hudson with Triple X, Chris Daniels and Neelix Skipper, and we get informed at this point that James Storm is not cleared to compete because of the attack. So it's Triple X now against the Naturals for the titles. And then the Naturals attack Triple X with like powder, and then they beat him down and they injure Chris Daniels' shoulder. So they take out Daniels now. So we don't know what's going on. So this was wonky. This gets wonky too as it goes on. And Jay, you're on mute. I don't know if you put yourself purposely on mute, but you're on mute.
Sorry, I was typing something. Sorry.
But all right. So then we go to all right. So now Abyss, Alex Shelley, Goldylocks versus Desire, Sonny Siaki, and Eric Watts. All right, you two tell me, am I crazy or did you guys also hear every time Borash would announce Desire, he'd always go Sonny Siaki with Desire? Like he'd always say it all sexy and shit. And I'm like, dude, fuck, like for 3 years.
He would like hold on the eye, like Desire.
Desire.
yeah.
Did you ever meet? Now Siaki is to me, it has become like lure to me, right? Because I never got to meet Siaki. And when I watched initially, I loved Sonny Siaki. I thought it was like second coming of Christ, right? I'm like, holy shit, this guy's fucking awesome. Rewatching him now, I'm like, God damn, you know, he really did not fucking hit the ball for me, man. But was he cool? Like, you guys ever have any interactions with Sonny?
I don't remember anything specific, but he was cool. Like anytime, he was really laid back and chill, like just kind of whatever about it, you know.
Totally.
Like a lot of people, you know, were kind of just like, we're not stars, we're just wrestlers, and he was kind of like that too.
Kind of a forgotten name though nowadays. Nobody mentions Sonny, man. Like he left so early too, and he gave his kidney to his brother. That's how he had to retire. He had to like give a kidney away. So, but it's one of those guys where I'm like, I wish he'd pop up with a Twitter account or something, because I mean, dude was there for the first foundational years. He was there from year 1 to 5, man. So I wish some of these guys would get a little more of a nod just for putting in the work that they did. You know, Kid Kash, another one that comes to mind too, that I feel like never gets the respect that he deserves. But
really underrated,
big time. This match was a little wild here though. It was actually kind of fun because it ended up being Sonny Siaki, Desire, and Eric Watts, and they love fucking Watts. Like they love Watts, man. Like, he is so over. It's incredible. Like that pop was nuts, man. For Eric Watts, every time he comes out, it's fuck yeah. Like, holy shit.
He was he was always a nice guy, but I never got it.
He seems like that kind of guy, like everybody wants to kind of be friends with. He's tall dude, he's good-looking guy. Like you're like, oh, that's gonna be a cool friend to have, and everybody wants to be his buddy. But like, dude, he was so over in that crowd, it just blew my mind till the end, till the fucking end, man. Like they loved Eric Watts. I guess every hometown has that though. There's always the guy, you know, that he's like just yours and that's it. He wasn't wrestling anywhere else, you know. And they're like, oh, he's just our guy, and that's cool. So maybe that's what it was, part of it. What I put down for this though, crowd pleaser, you know, kind of just a good old fashioned like Southern style crowd pleaser match. Georgie Watts gets in there, his wife, to kind of break the Abyss spell a little bit from Goldie, who keeps abusing him. So I imagine this is what your first marriage was like. I mean, Goldilocks and Abyss, you being the big brute and all, you know, getting kicked around, and eventually you just, you know, you gave her a backbreaker and got divorced. Is that pretty much how it went with your first marriage, Jay?
It's eerily similar. I shouldn't say that this gave me ideas for future happenings, but I really
black
shouldn't.
hole slam, like
Yeah,
it's one big black hole slam on the bitch. So he finally turns. Like this was the perfect time. Last Asylum show, Abyss breaks the spell. I noticed though, if you guys caught this too, he doesn't full on like choke slam or black hole slam. Like it looks like she didn't want to take anything more than just like a very protected backbreaker, like a very soft backbreaker. But it's also Goldilocks, so she's not a wrestler, but she's cool. We had her on the show. Any stories with Goldie? You guys ever have any cross with Goldie at all?
I don't remember her showing up very often, to be honest.
No kidding.
Like,
huh?
not too total. I don't know. Maybe once or twice. That's about it.
Chris, you got any memories of Goldilocks? Because she's a friend of the show too. Definitely a friend of the show. She's cool.
I guess she didn't really come around. We would sometimes hang out outside or hang out afterwards, and some of the wrestlers would come. And yeah, Goldie was really one of them, and she wasn't super chatty with the fans. But I don't know. People were probably pretty creepy to her. Some of the fans probably were.
Yeah,
she probably was just like not trying to open that can of worms.
Yeah, thinking about it, a lot of the female wrestlers didn't come and hang out too much. Outside of Trinity, not many of them did.
Like today.
I mean, they did have women in cages, on the
they didn't
side
have
of
very
the...
many, so yeah, that's...
Well, Trinity came off as pretty tough, so it's like, you wouldn't want to say something off. You get your ass kicked by Trinity,
Goldie says today that she does her podcast, and she's like, I regret that I didn't do enough I didn't feel the moment enough. Like I didn't take it time and enjoy the fans and the opportunity I was given. So she's almost on a redemption lately. Like she's been talking about her career more and having guests on and everything. So she's like, I just didn't appreciate what I had at the time. So that's probably what it was. Like she just was, maybe she was from the music world. She probably wasn't thinking like this is like kind of not her thing, but she's just there to do it. But I think
that's
now
how
she
I
looks
feel
back.
about TNA. I feel like I didn't realize that I was literally seeing the future world champions that the kids would have t-shirts for. 20 years later, I was watching them wrestle in front of,
nobody.
Not even like a sold out Asylum.
Yeah. And like just very modest beginnings. Yeah, think about it. Like AJ Styles is going to go down as one of the greatest of all time. Like greatest of all time. And you guys saw him at like the beginning, when he couldn't even cut a promo. You know what I'm saying? This dude's main event in like WrestleManias against the Undertaker and shit. Like that's crazy to me, and he talk about a total sidebar. One of the coolest dudes I have ever met was AJ Styles. Like down to earth, nicest, like a good old Southern boy, man. Like just has not changed, just a good kid, man. And I love him. I think to this day, and I don't watch WWE, but he's gonna go down as one of the greatest of all time. No question about it. No question about it.
Yeah, he was really cool. He didn't come around too terribly much, but when he did, he was super interactive. I remember one guy was like, "Can you pick me up for a Styles Clash?" He was like, "Fuck it, let's go." And he basically picked him up and like hung him there for a minute, and then just dropped him back down.
He was
all into it. He was really fun about that.
That's cool, man. That's cool. Told us another sidebar. Eric Young just worked AAW up here, and I produced him in a promo, and I was talking to him, and I'm like, dude, this is trippy to me. And I'm like, I'm gonna produce you in a promo, and I'm like, I feel like I grew up with you. I'm like, it's 20 years, man. And he's like, I know, dude, it's crazy. I know it's crazy. He's got that fucking voice. He's like, I know it's great. And I'm like, that's fucking nuts to me. I'm like, you've done everything. Like I remember when you were like the goof, and you were getting scared of fireworks, and you were just Team Canada's like little guy, and this. And I'm like, it's fucking trippy to me. This is like 20 years. I've watched your career. Like I'm sitting here with you, hanging out. Like it was just so weird to me. And I'm like, and he's a cool dude too. Eric Young's a really nice guy as well, even to this day. Some of these guys are just great dudes, man. Just to put a bow on this one, Desire pins Goldilocks after Abyss turns, so she gets her win on this one. Kind of puts a cap on that feud. So they're finishing up a lot. I noticed that on this show they're really wrapping up a lot. And it's almost like you can follow the pattern. You're like, man, they're really starting to check all these boxes off on the Asylum here during the show. Did you guys start like kind of feeling that during the as the show went on, you're like, they're kind of just wrapping
A
this
little
up
bit.
here.
I mean, we knew.
Yeah,
you know,
guys knew.
like I said, we were smart enough to know. Maybe some other people didn't really like catch on, but
Yeah.
I think by this night, pretty much the whole building knew. That's why, you know, it was so hard to get in. But
yeah.
the matches, like it felt like they were wrapping at least most of our storylines up, especially the Desire thing.
Yeah, oh yeah. Back to Scott Hudson with Team Canada. Scott D'Amore, Petey Williams, Johnny Devine, Eric Young, Bobby Roode. Just talking about the Dusty match. D'Amore's wearing Roode's robe here. I don't know if you guys saw that. Caught that little backstory here. So we got a little share. Jay, we'll go to the private chat. We got a shared photo from Chris here from the Asylum days. Go pull this up, and we'll share it in a second. I'll start the next segment while you're pulling that up. The next match though goes down as a fun classic. Kid Kash and AJ Styles. This was a great build to this whole thing. I love how they built this one. They threaded this one for almost over a month to just really get you to this point. And it was awesome. I think they went all out, and they showed a lower third of Chris Daniels getting his shoulder looked at, so you kind of got the hint that he's not going to be there. But just a great match. Okay, let's pause for a second. Look at this. Look at this, man.
This is great.
That's you right there. Is that you in the middle, Chris, with the Raven shirt on? Is that you?
No, that's me.
That's Sabinite.
Oh, that's you. Holy shit.
Beardless with hair.
Look at you two young boys here. Look at this.
You got Eric Young in the background, kind of creeping behind that dude's head too.
Sabu, Sabu, totally.
Right
here. Sabu retweeted that actually. Yeah, he did.
I don't know why we didn't ask him like, "Hey, we fucked that up. Can you?" It's Sabu. You don't ask him. You don't ask. You don't ask
like
too much
that.
from Sabu. You know. Yeah, it is. It is actually pretty great.
This is classic like this. What's the tattoo you got? What's the tattoo on the
remember
floor?
the trading cards that they used to give out? They used to have like these goofy little like temporary tattoos. So I would just like slap them on
Sabin.
Is that that looks like Sabin?
Yeah,
that
was.
Yeah.
I'll just say screw it. Let's just slap these stupid things on. I'm never gonna keep them anyway. I kind of should have kept. Now that
there's a classic TNA hat right there. That looks slick.
I was trying to find that.
Or like a beanie or something?
Yeah, it was a beanie.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
My friend Dave, I think he wore it on the show, Jay. He had the Raven shirt. Remember, we bought it. He bought that at a house show we went to early on or something, or a couple guys. I think Raven was up here and he was selling some TNA merch. But
nice.
We had the shirt too. But that's awesome, dude. That's awesome, Chris. Thanks for sharing that, man.
That is a great pick.
Yeah.
I love it. You two with the long hair and shit. Look at that, huh?
Yeah.
Young kids. But this match was awesome. Dallas did not come out with Kash initially, but he kind of comes to the crowd, tries to cheat, but AJ fights him off. Styles clash through the table. Kid Kash looked like he took a very stiff shot, but a trooper, tough son of a bitch. And AJ gets the win, but then Petey attacks AJ as he's like walking off. What I couldn't figure out here is why Petey's the X Division champion. Why is he attacking AJ? Like, why is he going after a guy? Because he's a champ. But Kash and Dallas jump in. Third Life Crew comes in for the save. So basically setting AJ up. But Kid Kash, I want to talk about some Kid Kash here.
Hang on, before you do that, I got one more I'm going to share here.
Oh, we got more, man. I love this. I love this. Dig it all out, man. What else we got here?
Find some extra
this is I really appreciate this because
Mayor's asking if you ever had long hair, Jay, like Chris had. But we have visual proof of J-Bone with hair. If you have missed it, here's J-Bone with hair.
Jiminy Christmas.
That is J-Bone with hair right there.
That is, yes. All right, here we go. Check this out. One of my faves right here.
All right, what do we got? Look at this, huh?
CM Punk.
50. Sign the back. He signed the back of your Raven 8x10. That's awesome. That's awesome.
So when they did the Super X Cup, I always thought this was really funny, and I wish I could find it now. But on the back of one of these 8x10s, just some generic one, I got Punk and Teddy Hart to sign the same exact one, and I always thought that was really funny considering,
Teddy Hart.
Before the brawl, right? Before the brawl.
Yeah, it was about 2 months before, I think.
Did you guys hang out at that restaurant after the shows? Was that open late for you guys? The diner, whatever that happened at?
I don't remember it being open. Man,
Or like, was
What
there
was
a
it?
spot?
What was it called? The white trash.
The white trash cafe.
White
It
trash
was literally
cafe.
at the bottom of the hill.
Yeah, that's right. It was down that
You would
weird
go up a
little
hill,
creepy alley.
And then there was the Asylum in the parking lot, and right at the very bottom of that hill, if you took a ride out, was the White Trash Cafe.
Was it really? Okay. I don't think it's there anymore because I was there a couple years ago, and
I would hope not.
I don't think it's there.
Yeah, I would hope not.
Well, health code violation. Probably didn't make it. But
Chris, don't be surprised if you get some follows tonight for those picks. Those are pretty cool.
very cool, man. Thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. That is awesome. Definitely, yeah. Everybody, put your old stuff out there, guys. If you got old pictures, put them out there. Let these wrestlers see it. Good stuff, though. Good stuff. Yeah, let's talk Kash for just a second. I want to talk Kid Kash. This to me is one of the most important guys of the early years. They brought him back a few years ago before the pandemic. He did that throwback show, but dude, like, he is so forgotten by them. And I'm like, this guy was on every goddamn show for 3 years straight. He was on every show. How is he so overlooked? I know he's not too involved nowadays. He kind of does his own things, chiropractic or whatever he's doing now. But man, did any memories of Kid Kash? You guys, like, what's the feeling like? What was the feeling on Kash in the Asylum?
I mean, he was probably the best heel that they had,
dude. Yeah,
for a while. Like a natural heel too. Like people legitimately wanted to fucking fight this guy every night.
I love it.
Right.
I love it.
You know the ICP thing. You remember he threw the bread at the Juggalos that one time. Huge pop from us.
That's awesome.
Huge. That was a big deal. But
yeah, I don't think you like those guys.
No, he did not.
Chris, your connection's a little choppy, so hopefully, I don't know if you can still hear us, but it's a little choppy. If you want to come bounce out and bounce back in, but the ICP that you told us about it in the chat, Sam, you mentioned the whole ICP feud and those fans, how they just pissed everybody off in the crowd.
Yeah, that was a rough time.
And they were comps, right? They were all comps.
Yeah.
They weren't paying to get in.
No.
It's not like they were contributing to the show and financially. I think
they would like carpool down from like Michigan or something like that and still get in for free. I think it was. But yeah, they were a nuisance. That whole thing sucked. That was a really bad, really bad time to come down.
Fuck you guys, man.
He's little running from Kyle right there. Look at that, huh?
And he's gone.
And he's gone. He's naturally rocking ICP gear right now. And he just gave it for a quick fuck you running. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you. He's in the chat too, by the way. Look at that.
But
you can say he made the last throwback.
The Juggalos that stayed around, we actually became kind of cool with. And they would actually that Magic Sanjay Dutt sign that I mentioned.
Yes.
They actually started chanting that with us towards the end of the run. But when was it Morrissey that came up with that, or was it you?
Morrissey was very angry that I said that I remembered it the other way, so maybe him. I don't know. I just want to give him his due.
It was one of them. It just started when they would do the Magic Ninja. It was either Chris or Morrissey just started chiming in Magic Sanjay Dutt. And I thought it was one of the funniest, most clever things I'd ever heard. So I put it on a sign, and they would show it every now and then. They may have even showed it.
I remember seeing that too. Magic
and
Sanjay Dutt.
the last couple of Juggalos would actually like get in on the chant because they actually didn't hate us by then. So they would just get in on that.
That's fucking hilarious. It flows too. Magic Sanjay.
Yeah, it was perfect.
I can imagine.
A couple of those Juggalos actually like joined up Saving Section and like bought some shirts. So
nice. Oh yeah, couple.
It was a good end to the story.
Yeah.
The feud was over.
Well,
that's awesome.
Kid actually gets some love in this match. There's KID chants all throughout the match.
The heel section.
Yeah.
He was because he used to wear that shirt. The heel
That's
section
right.
Shirt.
He did wear
and he
that
would
shirt.
black out section after that really weird Raven versus Jarrett situation where they threw like trash in the ring and half of them got banned. So they made him like blackout section, but he could still wear like the heel and like the skull logo or whatever the hell it was.
Jay, I'm telling you, that one fucking guy with the glasses, like the lead heel section guy, I saw him in Milwaukee at a show, and I'm like, that's that fucking guy from 20 years ago. And I wanted to go up to him and be like, dude, fuck
Was
off.
it the one that was always holding up the sign with this big ass grin on his face?
Always. The one's always shaking his head.
Yeah,
and shit constantly.
that was the second. He wasn't the lead. I got into a big,
creepy looking dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
He was kind of creepy. He was cool, but he was kind of creepy. But the lead one, yeah, pretty much like that. The lead one was he was a bitch.
Plain and simple, he was a
bitch. I'll go into it later. That's a long one.
They were all pretty weird dudes.
Yeah.
I remember one of them was named Ace, and he would like pull out his phone and look, I have number in my phone. I'm just like, what a strange thing for a 30-something-year-old man to be shoving in a 15-year-old child's face.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, they used to try to start stuff with us, despite the fact that we were all minors. But
yeah, we were literally children. And
these dudes were pushing like 30 at the time, so
Jesus Christ.
It was weird.
I used to see them up here. They were at Indies in Chicago. I'm like, I don't know if
they
were from
they
here.
used to travel a lot. They went to WrestleMania that year.
They were all over.
Group.
And that's crazy, man. It's great. Jay, you're gonna have to go take care of him, man. I think there's the one dude lives in Milwaukee, for sure. That's on you, pal.
If they show
this
up,
is for the Sabin section, motherfucker.
If they show up to one of David Hero's shows, I'll take care of them.
There you go. Thanks.
I'm not messing with that.
Good shit. Back to Scott Hudson with Dusty Rhodes, just talking about the match later, and then Hardy and whatnot. Then we go into Dusty and D'Amore. Russo is special referee, and he has the red. Instead of it being TNA, it's a red Yankees logo because he's New York, bro. But
bro,
I was like, but you're not a heel right now. Like, why are you pushing the New York thing right now? You're not a heel at this point. But he's special referee. Now, what you guys get in this last Asylum show is, first off, you get 3 Live Crew threatening Russo on the way out to not screw Dusty, which I thought was intense. But then there's tension between Russo and Dusty. Dusty eventually wins. They're about to shake hands, and then Team Canada attacks Dusty. Russo and D'Amore get into it, and then Russo takes his shirt off in the Asylum. He's like, "Come on, motherfucker!" I was like,
"Oh my god!" I was
like, "Holy shit!"
Dusty, they make it like you commentating makes it sound like, "Oh yeah, it was an accidental elbow that Dusty gave to Russo," and then they replay it, and then it's like, no. He gives him the side eye crack right in the face. It's like, nah, man, Dusty went heel. I don't know what you guys are talking about, man. Russo's just trying to do his job. Dusty's being an egotistical asshole like he always is, out of control.
I love Vince. Vince's a friend of ours, and he's been on the show, but. The roller coaster he took you guys on, he was like heel face, like every other month. I was like, shit, and like he's also and he would heel it up, be like, I'm the New York, I'm the Yankee, fuck the South, and then he'd be like, no, I'm a good guy. It's like, did anybody know what to make of the character by this point? Like, they're like, how do we trust this character, right?
I don't really remember anybody caring anymore about it.
About him all that much. Very much, or didn't care.
Yeah. Because you're right. I mean, like, he's a heel, he's a face, he's a heel, he's a face. But
all over the place.
After a while, it's just like, fuck off. You just go away.
He still had that WCW stink on him back then, too.
Yeah.
Like, it was pretty fresh wound.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was weird. It was because I just feel like they never gave him. He never wrote himself a consistent character to at least root into one thing or the other. But I did like him as when he was managing AJ. I thought that was his best run, because that when he was he's like a motherfucker, he's managing AJ, he's like really healing it up. I'm like, this was the best run he had. And then this authority figure, and then it's like he's an authority figure, Sabisco's an authority figure, Dusty Rhodes. I'm like, what is going on here, man? How many people are in charge?
And he was always like the surprise authority figure.
Yeah,
they would build up for like 3 weeks, like, somebody's coming. we've got someone coming, and it's fucking Russo again.
Yeah. I just didn't,
like, who cares, man?
He could have stayed as a manager. Honestly, I think he did great as a manager. I think he had found his niche there, but then he just kind of kept doing other stuff. But either way, I mean, so anybody who missed it, I think on episode in the 30s we had Rance on for a special episode, and he gave us like over an hour, right, Jay? He was like an hour of insight on this shit. It was nuts.
Yeah, we got sound bites off of it. It was great.
He was like, I got 15 minutes. I'm like, so, come on, whatever you can give us. Dude, he's on for an hour with us, giving us inside shit.
It actually got us an invite to join his squad, which didn't pan out. But
2 weeks. We lasted for 2 weeks on the brand.
Right, yeah.
For 2 weeks, we were on the network, and then, it did all. It wasn't not even his fault, to be honest. Anyway,
no,
that's
it was completely out of his hands. That's all I'm gonna say. No hate on Russo. We love Russo.
He was very nice to us. He was very cool. And then we go to Scott Hudson. Dude, the bell is almost near the end. I got one more bell ring in me, Jay. That's it after this. One more Scott Hudson appearance after this. But he's with the Naturals.
And the last one is honestly almost the best.
It's the best.
It is.
And he's with Chase Stevens and Andy Douglas, just talking about their match. Dude, okay, give me a minute on the Naturals. I love the Naturals. I think another forgotten team, for overlooked. Chase still looks like $1 million today. I think Andy's a chiropractor now. But man, like they kind of were they working Explosion prior to they debuted and they got the belts right away. Were they Explosion guys? Or you guys already rooted into them? Okay.
Yeah, they were Explosion guys for a while. They were Chase especially was local. I'm not sure about Andy Douglas, but Chase is still local. I mean, I still see him on Facebook interacting with a couple of the guys that I'm still friends with. They were Explosion for a while, and we used to have this sign. It's totally disrespectful now, and I cringe when I think about it. But it just said "Who," just big "Who" with a big question mark. And Andy Douglas played it up really well. We'd hold it up, and he would actually point and heal it up. So kind of played off that a little bit and started liking them a little bit more because just play with it. Yeah, and they were into that. And then they went to TV, and it was like, God, these guys are actually pretty decent. Like they got something there, and they were a homegrown team, which they didn't. They were still trying to cultivate this homegrown talent. So that was cool too. And
what I liked,
how it ended, but
yeah, what I liked was that they had to have a lot of faith in them because man, when they put them on the main show, it was like titles and then a huge but big wins over everybody. Like AMW, they constantly got over an AMW. I'm like, damn, they really trusted these kids. Wait, what I liked about them is that they ran with it too. Like they took the opportunity. We're gonna give you everything we got with this, and they appreciated the push. And I was like, these guys are cool, man. Chase is still out there. I know Andy doesn't wrestle anymore, but man, bring these guys in on Slam or something. Just bring them in to wave. You know what I mean? I think Chris Harris actually. Speaking of those teams, Harris's wife kind of gave it away that he's going to be in the house at Slam. She kind of let it be known. Yeah, she kind of gave it away a little bit. She's like, oh, we're getting ready for Slammiversary around here. I'm like, oh shit, okay. So, I'm gonna have to go down for that because all I ever wanted to see was AMW in person at least once.
Yeah.
That'd be
Chase,
choice.
AMW, and Chris Vaughn and Rick Santel were all the people that were wrestling at the fairground when TNA wasn't there.
Yeah.
Bert working for Bert Prentice.
Bert Prentice. I was about to say that.
Yeah. And honestly, if we didn't like someone, we weren't the biggest Chase fans, if we're being honest. Back then, it was probably because we felt like somebody else. We wanted to ruin that spot. We were like, why can't Rick? Which Rick was not as good a shape. What's his spear?
Oh, we're losing a little bit, Chris.
We still wanted Santel to get a shot. We love Rick.
Yeah, you guys love Rick Santel, man.
Yeah, Rick Santel was one of the coolest fucking people we've ever met. Probably he might have been the coolest dude that we met there, and he would always hang out with us and talk to us and stuff.
And he's done now, right? He's a
I have no idea where he is anymore or anything like that. I don't think anybody really does that I've asked around, which sucks because after that shoulder thing, man, it just went downhill for him. Like, he
Yeah.
just couldn't get healthy again. And it was sad because, you know, Chris Vaughn was kind of sitting there like, we're supposed to be the guys. Like, we're supposed to, you know, like, we're supposed to be the face naturals. And they just couldn't be. And so, you know, they would stick Chris Vaughn in, you know, like random X Division matches, or, you know, like he got squashed by Monty Brown that time, which looked fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he probably took the best pounce that anybody's ever taken. You know, like he would do, you know, spots here and there, but, you know, still hoping that Santel would heal up from that surgery.
Yeah.
Never did.
Yeah, he ended up, he called it a day in 2010, man. That was his last,
Yeah.
He stayed in Tennessee. So he was local. Were you guys going to all these other shows out there too? Like
Every now and then.
USA, CW, and SAW, and they're all at the fairgrounds too, which is interesting. NWA main event.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so interesting.
We went to quite a few of them. I remember a Christmas show, actually, right before they started putting the Naturals and AMW together on TV. The Naturals and AMW had like a 20-minute banger in front of probably like 50 people. Like it was in the same building, and it's a lot different when it's all lit up and there's nobody in there. It's kind of intimidating how big that building is, but they had a total banger. And I was like, okay, the Naturals are kind of legit. Like,
yeah.
2 months later, they're on TV doing I think it was that tournament for the vacant tag titles or something like that.
Yeah, I'm looking at
kind of took off from there.
And looking at Santel's history, man. Yeah, it looks like he stayed busy, and then it's never the same after that injury, man. That's a bummer. That's a total bummer with him, because talented kid, man. Talented kid. So we go to the tag team match. Naturals, it's Andy and Chase versus supposed to be Triple X. So Chris, so Elix Skipper Zabisco comes out first, and he calls it the Naturals about what they did, all the shit that they pulled. And he's like, I got your opponents right here. So then Elix comes out, and he's out there, and you're thinking, okay, who's it going to be? And then his partner is Chris Harris. So the two guys who are left partnerless because their guys got injured, and so they're partnered up. So good match. I mean, it was definitely solid. None of these guys suck at all. So the match was great. Some miscommunications at the end, between they're showing a little tension between Elix and Chris, but they win the belts, man. They get the belts, and they're kind of reluctant champions, and they get the belt. So it's kind of, I remember when this happened, I remember thinking how weird this was. I'm like, oh man, James and Chris get fucked, you know. I was like, this sucks. But what did you guys think of this? Like, was it kind of weird?
It was kind of weird.
It was weird to me too, watching it, man. Yeah.
It's weird to do like the start of a storyline on a show that you're leaving and going to be doing in a different state that we're obviously feuding with. Like that was kind of rubbed you the wrong way a little bit. And it's like, who cares?
Yeah,
it's kind of
they gave you the whole build was for you guys in Nashville. And then they started like this, like they kind of, it's like, are they breaking them up? Is this the new team now? Like, what the hell is this, right? And then weird. But Jay, how did you take it? I mean, you're watching this for the first time. Was it weird? Because I remember thinking this is so weird. Like, this doesn't make any sense.
I'm glad they did it this way. I get totally why it would have come off as awkward, but you've got two tag teams that are hot as hell on this brand, and you've got two guys that are, well, injured / hurt. Fans probably at the time don't know how bad or to what degree. Not like nowadays where we find out every 2 seconds on a Twitter box that, oh, so-and-so is going to be out for 3 months. We found out from so-and-so and so-and-so. So then you've got two guys left in the back that are just biting at the bit to be a part of this. You got the hottest, tag feud going. Now someone's got to go for the belts. I get why they did it.
Yeah, for sure.
I can see both sides of it where it's like, oh, God, why did they do that? I don't get that at all. But no, I totally get that. It's like you don't want to waste these two guys sitting. It's not their fault. Get Elix Skipper in there. Get Chris Harris in there. Play up the awkwardness factor. And, yeah, they're both looking at the belts at the end of the match like, well, shit, yeah, I got this belt now, but
damn,
I'm with this guy.
So Jay, just so you know, just to jump ahead a little bit, just so you have a funny, they actually like make up for it and they put the belts on Storm and Daniels, and then like half a year later, like it's like, oh hey,
that's a riot.
So we want to keep that your title reigns consistent. Like, well, it's like
spoilers, Trent. Come on, dude.
I know, but it's like 20-year-old spoilers, man. Come on, you don't know by now. Like, give it a break. But it was kind of like a, the two exes are gonna go get together now and go have something goofy like that. But yeah, they get the belts. So then now it's like now we're getting to the main event. So we do a video package. They show all the entire, like almost a bunch of the highlights of the locker room, talking about who they think is gonna win the Hardy and Jarrett match. So it was cool little stuff. They're just interviewing everybody, heels and faces, going through that. We go to the TNA and Don hype segment. It's Don West. I said chrome on chrome, J-Bo. I said chrome on chrome. What did you? Was that silver gray? I said chrome. What did you think?
Shiny white. I don't know.
Shiny white? I don't know. What do you guys? It would look like a chromish kind of shirt and tie. I was always impressed that he always found matching tie to shirt every week for 111 weeks. He always had a matching tie and shirt.
My favorite's the blue, honestly.
Hey, our best wishes to Don though. He's fighting cancer again. So we love Don West, man, and we love him today big time. To this day, my favorite team, and our best wishes to Don. Did you guys ever run into those two? Or you guys ever get to talk and BS with them at all?
Mike TNA maybe like once.
Yeah.
And it was just in passing. He was a busy dude, obviously.
Yeah.
I think the only thing I remember was him looking at Chris and saying a nice shirt for like a Noah shirt or something like that. And that was about it.
Yeah.
Don West a little bit more though. Like he was still pretty busy and mostly in passing too, but he was a little bit more interactive whenever he could be. He was, he's the hype man. Like he was always pretty like jovial and kind of wild. So
yeah,
I remember more about him. But that Mike TNA, he was cool, but he would, just be like, too busy, bye, sorry.
Yeah, he was moving. If you saw him, he was like,
he was always like, he couldn't stop. Like he was. He was probably doing about 18 different jobs at one time.
I'm sure he was, man. Yeah. I'm sure it was. I'm sure that's a big reason why he got so upset at the way they kind of demoted him, for Josh Matthews. That was so weird how they pushed him to the side like the way they did. I'm like, I don't think he's pissed, but I think he was kind of like, fuck it. I'm done. Like, I thought I had a spot here, kind of thing. So I love Mike TNA. And if they don't bring him and Don for the 20, I'm gonna probably kick something. Like, you need to put those two in a Hall of Fame, man. There's two guys need to be in. It's those two guys.
It's something that I heard CM Punk say recently after when he came back from wrestling. He's like, I believe in giving people their flowers while they're around.
I agree with that. I don't agree with anything Punk says, but I'll agree with that.
And because he came out on stage and it was right after JR came back from something he had some skin cancer treated or something, and so he was gone from commentary for a while, and then he came out and then pointed out JR and said welcome back, and then he mentioned giving people their flowers while they're around, and I completely we need to do that
more, man.
Yeah, totally.
Don being sick and all, so
yeah.
But the last Scott Hudson interview of the Asylum with Monty Brown, and Jay, I'll let you talk about this one because he just goes fucking bananas.
Oh, Monty Brown, I'm trying to remember specifically what it was, but he always wants Hudson always wants Monty Brown to calm down, and he's like, look at me, I'm calm. It does this like cheesy ass smile grin, and I was like, dude, he always gave so much shit to Hudson, and always swiped at the microphone and did the whole thing like he's smelling them and all that stuff, and oh my god, just it was always a riot with those two in the back. And this I would say this is definitely one of the top ones because. It was really where Monty Brown, I mean, we love his in-ring stuff. It was, simple,
Just big guy shit, you know.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Throwing people around the pounds was epic, but it was backstage segments like this that really stuck out, and really where he cut his best stuff, you know, on anyone that was involved in whatever he was doing at the time.
Dude, he was great. What did you guys? He kind of hit the Asylum like a freight train, man. When he came out, like out of nowhere.
I'll always love him for killing off ICP's whole like entire run. Like that was the last time we ever saw him. He destroyed. Who was it? Too Tough Tony, I think it was.
Yes.
Oh man, he did away with that. So like, I mean, I've loved him ever since then. Yeah, but I mean,
kind of like
he
a
was
meme
great.
to us.
Yeah, he was kind of a meme, but I loved him. I still do. Like any promo, I'll like, you know, press play on that I see. You know, if anybody like retweets one, it's like, press sound. Got to hear Monty Brown go crazy.
Dude, he's so like in like he's like folklore to people nowadays, you know, and like, and apparently, so I know Rohit Raju, which is just an Impact, Hakeem Zayn, that he lives in the same town as Monty, and they go to the same gym, and he's like, dude, he looks better now, if you can believe that. I was like, what?
It's unbelievable.
Like he's like he could jump in the ring today and just tear shit up. Like at this, like he looks amazing. I'm like, how? That's impossible, right? And he's like, the fucking guy's a beast, man. So I talk about cut too short. I know he had some family stuff. Why he left WWE. And he left TNA because they weren't doing it. I mean, Jarrett kept squashing. They didn't pull the trigger on him. They had him in the main in one of these pay-per-views like a year later, and they just same, you know, with a lot of things where Jarrett did not let anybody take the torch. Monty was one I feel like you could have been the first ones to have Monty, you know, and he's like, fuck it. He left the WWE and then he had some family stuff and he left there. But I'm like, man, you could have crowned him at least once and just had it on the book, you know?
Yeah. Out of all the people that they should have pulled the trigger on, he's probably number one.
Yeah.
If not top 2, top 3.
Definitely. And I've talked to the Raven one, you know, several times, the Raven episode 43 that to this day bothers me.
Yeah. So, and then that Chris Harris one
the Chris Harris one we all talked about, like that one, man. The Harris one more hurts personally because it's like they built him, then they fuck him, then they built him again, and then they fucked him again. And they're like, we'll do a third build in the King of the Mountain. Like, this will be it. This is
and then they would just hot shot it to guys that have already been there, and like nobody. I mean, I like R-Truth and all, but like him having that one like 2-week run,
it didn't make any sense.
Fuck, do you have like he was doing nothing, you know, but like random tag bullshit.
I agree
at that point, and then he gets a world title run. Come on,
that's the one that bothers me. That one could have been Harris. And that,
like out of everybody involved, it's like there's Harris, there's Raven, 2 of the people that you definitely should have pulled the trigger on before, and you pull it on Styles and Truth again for like nothing reigns just to put over Jarrett again in this goofy, weird fucking match.
Yeah,
I don't know how it looked on TV, but in person, it was one of the most awkward matches. It was wild but it was weird too. You know, like this reverse ladder match thing. Like, you know, the crowd didn't understand any of the rules. It's like, so you get a pinfall and you go in this weird little cage for like 2 minutes, and then you come out, and then you get like the right to put the belt on. Like, wait,
it's so
what?
weird. I can imagine you two, like at 15, how Chris, like you guys are like, what the fuck can we watch? Like, what is this now? Like, what are we watching? Like,
it felt like an EFED match that some like 12-year-old would come up with. You know, like, you know, in the EFEDs, you'd see like a steel cage ladder match where it's like, what about a reverse ladder match where we put something on the hook? And you're just like, no, we're not doing it. No, I'm not going to role play for that. That's stupid. And then, you know, boom, it's happening in real life.
Stop that.
You're there in person. It's just like, what is this?
That's crazy. And you know what's funny? The roster today, like the young roster, it's like all these young guys who grew up watching this, and they're like dying to have a King of the Mountain match. Like they're all like they talk. Like Ace Austin's always like, "Oh, give me that King of the Mountain." Like they all want to have it because they're like marks for it from when they were kids.
Yeah,
and they all want to do one now.
And now the
women are getting one.
The women are getting one. Yeah,
yeah, and I think it's great. But there's also a lot of little side chuckles that we even saw last week in the chat discussing, like, okay, you know, who's going to explain to the women all the rules? You know?
When they were gonna have one at that show that got canceled by COVID, and they were going around the locker room, they had like a funny video of like, all right, do you know the rules of the King of the Mountain? And like everybody's like, I think you go in the cage first, and then you get the bell from the cage. Like nobody knew, but Willie Mack was the only one. He's like, no, here's how it happens. He's like broke it down like verbatim. Like he's like the one dude who like had it on. First you do this, then you go out, then you like 2-minute interval here, blah blah blah. Then he like ran down every winner of every king. I'm like, fuck, man. This guy, like this, clearly these guys grew up on this shit.
He was good.
All right, let's run the main event, guys, and then we'll talk about how that all ended at the Asylum. So, NWA Heavyweight Championship. It's Jared who's the champion against Jeff Hardy, and they built pretty well. They built for a couple months. I gotta say, from the investment of time, they put the time into building this. Now, I wasn't sold on it being Hardy, but I get it. He's a name from up north, and they had to do that. I get that because they're going to Fox. From a business standpoint, I understand. Me personally, I just wasn't invested. Like you guys even said, you were just kind of half watching it.
Yeah.
Now the crowd, obviously, I mean, the casuals, they love it because he's a WWE guy, and it's like, oh, we know him. He's a Hardy boy, blah, blah, blah. But the match, to me, was the biggest letdown after the build. After all that build. So they brawl beforehand during the introductions. Jared, he blades like immediately on the floor, like, and they catch him blading, which is funny. He's like, just blading away. Like,
we've talked about this where it's like, okay, somebody's doing something on the floor. Keep the camera off of him for like a minute. No, let's dig the
They're right
camera.
in there.
Yeah. It's like, and his face is buried in the apron between the stairs and the curtain or whatever. And it's like, well, I wonder what Jeff's doing down there. Is he okay?
And he's like, come on, man.
That happened in NJPW or AEW recently. Someone got hit and then just dove under the ring. It's just like, I wonder what they're doing right now.
Like they're making it so obvious sometimes, Like, come on, guys, what are we doing? But either way, like the match was just, it wasn't there, man. After all that, they had to schmoz the I almost think they knew it was gonna be like this because they have Monty out there, Abyss is watching, Raven's watching, Dusty comes in, there's a struggle over a baseball bat. You think Russo's gonna turn on somebody. Jared tries using the bat, Russo pulls it away, Jared goes and cracks Hardy with the guitar, and then he wins. That was, it was like, Jay, how long was the match even?
Just over 10 minutes.
10 minutes, that's it.
The tag match before was longer by like a minute or two. And what sucks is they wasted all this time on the announcement / brawl time. And they could have had a few extra minutes in there.
Dude, all right, you guys gotta break it down for me. Chris, start with you because your connection's pretty nice and good now. So I want to get you before your internet starts to chop it up again. All right. What did you think? I want you guys to give me the reaction on this. You're there live after months of building this shit and the 10-minute junk match.
If I'm being honest, we were checked out at that point. We were mad. We were pissed that they were leaving.
Oh, yeah.
And we were enjoying that final night. Like we knew it was our last night as like a big crew, and it was a little emotional.
Yeah.
But like storyline wise, I think that we were pretty checked out. They had been kind of, like you said, like leading us on, saying that they weren't going to leave, and we knew that they were, and I think that pissed us off even more. And then Borash actually was like talking shit about us in the Orlando crowd, calling us like hillbillies or something.
What?
And so
I remember that.
Yeah, it was like a little video like surfaced on the internet of him talking shit about the Nashville crowd like after the show with the Orlando crowd, like telling them they were way better than us and stuff.
Wow.
So we were, we were checked out at that point a little bit.
I don't blame you.
Especially with the Jarrett stuff, we'd been checked out of the Jarrett stuff for a while. I could say more, but our takes at that point had really changed through TNA. Not to get into too big of a thing, but I just remember I was at the first Asylum show, and I just remember like going to those early shows and seeing like Jerry Lynn, who I already knew Jerry Lynn, you know, obviously, like fighting Low Key and Threat. I remember I watched that a lot, and my mind was blown. Like, you know, like I didn't know that there were these dudes out there doing. I mean, I knew a little bit. Like, I would say for me, the independents at the time, I knew who like Quackenbush was, I knew who Reckless Youth was. I knew who, like, you know, like a few people like Mike, what's his name?
Modest and Morgan.
I knew a couple people, but like really, I didn't know that much about it in wrestling. Like after going to TNA, I needed, and you know, shortly there around the same time, Ring of Honor started to blow up, and the Explosion Crew, we befriended them because we were kind of like the loudest crew. I mean, honestly, if you wanted like any section on your side, you wanted us on your side because we were the loudest and we were right in front of the camera. And you get the whole place. Like, you get people chanting, you've got a chance to start. At least 30 people are going to join in on that. And so, like, I think we got a responsibility to like get over these guys. They liked us. He started sending us home with tapes. He started like mailing me VHSs of like IWA Mid-South. So we're seeing like and Alex Shelley and Chris Rhodes, not 3-minute match, all this other stuff that was like, you know, like really blowing our minds. And at the same time, TNA was transitioning away from like that in a lot of ways and was like becoming more key. And it would become directly thereafter, you know? And so I think like we knew when a good thing came along and we were excited for it, but we also were just like fed up with like the direction of the company, I think. And I think, you know, just to like tail end this, like, when they did go to Spike, I wanted to watch, but they only had like an hour-long show and they would have like 3-minute matches for like the first like year, like, and it really just felt like I'm just gonna go watch these guys in Ring of Honor or IWA Mid-South. There's somewhere they're gonna let them work and somewhere they're gonna actually, you know, give like a spotlight to the guys that we felt deserved it. And I think, you know, kind of were like, fuck TNA. By the time it come back around, it's been through its ups and downs, but like it felt like sorry, that's a long thing, but yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I thanks for sharing that, because I get it though. Like at that point, they were becoming a TV company. They kind of became what you did not grow up on at that point. Like, you guys were with them through a different era. Me too. I mean, I was proud of the growth. I was proud of them because I was a soldier from day one. I was like, they got TV. Like, we're doing this, you know, together. But yeah, definitely. I was also going to Ring of Honor to get that fixed because I was like, well, yeah, I'm going to get the actual like hardcore matches here. Yeah. But then I get to see them presented on TV there. So, I mean, a little bit of both worlds. But Sabinite, what about you, man? Like, last day feelings, all that kind of stuff.
It was roughly the same. I remember the Borash thing happened. So, you know,
that's shitty though, because he lived in Nashville. That was the funny thing. The dude lived there.
And the thing was, like, he was big fans of us. Like, there were a few shows, like, before Explosion, he would be, like, you know, kind of hyping up the crowd, like, hey, how's everybody over here? How's everybody there? Saving section, how about you? And, like, he would, you know, like, call us out, like, you know, like, he would interact with us, like, specifically by name. And, you know, then he did that. So I was like, whatever, man. I was in charge of the website, so I put him on blast on like the main page, like calling him a prick and a tool and a bitch and, you know, all this stuff. Put it right there and then like click enter to enter the website, you know, like I did that. And then, yeah, I mean, you were checked out at that. I mean, pretty much all of us were checked out, especially the world title scene. Like after the Harris thing and then that stupid cage, like who's gonna challenge in the cage, you know, in like April of that year. It was just like, okay, this is like an X Division like company now, like that's all that any of us cares about. So, you know, this world title match, now, I don't remember a thing about this match other than them fighting in the crowd behind us in like the big like crow's nest area and us chanting fuck Orlando because we knew the cameras were going to be right there. We were chanting as loud as humanly possible, fuck Orlando. And I remember a few reviews online, specifically one that said that they thought the crowd was chanting "fuck Kurt Angle," which like made no sense whatsoever, and it made zero sense. And I ended up messaging them and being like, "No, it was fuck Orlando." Like, you know, same exact syllables, but like way off. Why would we hate Kurt Angle for whatever reason? But you know, it was that, and like we chanted like "Thank you, Jarrett" towards the end, and that was about it. You know, like, show a little bit of appreciation for the company, but like that's all I remember from this match. Like, I kind of, now that you mention it, remember like the opening, like when they were fighting in between like introductions, but that's about it. Like, who cared? Like we didn't care. Like they were gone. This was their really bad. Like, let's give them the best world title match, and like it wasn't.
The crowd was bummed about that ending too.
The crowd. I remember a lot of that. Like, you know, Hardy at that point probably should have just gone over. Like, just send everybody happy. You know, like Jarrett's far less of a name than Hardy to, you know, transition into TV to, you know.
Exactly.
But, you know, it's a fucking another Jarrett move. So, you know, like at that point we were just all checked out. Like, well, it just didn't care anymore. You know, just wanted the show over so we could hang out with like people that we liked.
Yeah.
And why do the same thing, if not worse, a couple months later to Hardy on pay-per-view?
Same thing, yeah. They did the same thing to him. He almost had it there too.
It made no sense. Like, give Hardy the belt here for a few months. You're transitioning into, okay, we're going straight to TV now. We're only doing TV now. You're plugging this big pay-per-view. Jeff versus Jeff. Okay, now give the title back to Jarrett because now you're whatever.
You had the interference anyway. You could have just done the transition thing.
Right. Yeah. But now you just come, now it's like, because I remember like that was back when I was like I appreciated Jeff Jarrett for who he was, but I felt like, and I know I'm not the only one that felt this way, is he was like the Triple H of TNA at the time.
That's what people were saying too. Yeah, that was like the big thing.
Triple J, you know?
Triple J. Jeff the jerk off Jarrett, according to Watts, right? Triple J, Jeff the jerk off Jarrett.
Yeah.
So I wanna add, when y'all were talking about Chris Harris, I always think about this because he cracks me up so hard. But when Chris Harris lost that world title match, he fucked with the heel section on his way out and like leaned into him. I got a surprise for you guys tonight. Proceeded to go get beat in the ring. Like, he leaned into him and just like hyped him up. And then he totally lost.
Damn.
Yeah, that was... But I was the same way after they left. You know, I was just, you know, like you watch a little bit at like 3 p.m. on a Friday. That's when, you know, Impact would come on, and it would be, you know, like Chasyn Rance in like a 2-minute match, you know, getting squashed, or, you know, Buck Quartermain, or
Buck Quartermain, man.
Or, you know, some local Orlando fucking guy, or the guy that was in the roller derby show on TNN that they brought in. I forget his fucking name. You know, whatever. Like they
Hermie Sadler and shit everywhere.
Dude, 2-minute squash matches with like a 5-minute main event. You know, it would just suck. And then I was still a little bit kind of tuned in because we all were like, man, they got to come back for like their first pay-per-view, right? And then, you know, they announced on like Impact, you know, since Orlando went through like a hurricane, we're gonna have Victory Road here. It was like, okay, I'm out.
So you never attended another show after that? Was that the end?
Nope. That was it.
No kidding. Yeah. You were an Asylum guy.
Yeah, I was done. Yep.
And then Chris, you're going.
I decided to start watching ROH at that point.
Oh, okay.
I started wrestling, you know, shortly thereafter. So I was just all like, you know, checked out of pretty much just watching anything something that I was trying to steal from pretty much. And get trained and, you know, do that.
And then Chris, you went to shows, right? Because you're going to Slammiversary.
Well, this will be my first one since that one, actually.
Wow, no kidding.
Wow.
Yeah, we didn't go. I kind of wish I'd went to one of the anniversary shows.
Yeah,
they did do, but I didn't. I don't know. You know, I kind of make this podcast about me. I kind of got out of wrestling for a couple of years after the Benoit shit, and took like a break from watching until maybe like 2013 and 14. It was wild getting back in, and like, you know, like all these like Jericho and Steen were like nobodies back then, like are like the kings of and then the guys that were like, you know, what Steen and Jericho were to us, like now in the WWE. And it's like, wow, this is pretty wild. Wild world to get back to. AJ Styles was in the Bullet Club, and when I was getting back in, and it was just like, wow, okay, it's come full circle. I think back about, just the fact that we got to go to those shows and like how lucky we were as like young fans to just like get to experience that every week and to have that sense of community, and also to just get to see like these stars born. When you think about like great junior divisions, I mean, the current IWGP junior division's amazing. And of course, you think of WCW 90s, but honestly, like the X division, those early Asylum X division years were like really good stuff. And it was just cool to be like kind of on the forefront of TV wrestling.
The X division is like that. I mean, today's stuff is all influenced by that, and I think it's amazing. You guys got to expand. You were like 15, 16, right? Kids, right? And like right in that perfect age, and you had this community, and it's like the company's, it's still around. Obviously, it's much different, but
Yeah.
I almost love it more that you guys ended with the Asylum. Like you were Asylum era, and then that was it. Like you're like, this was ours, and it's not ours anymore, and we're going. Like we're done.
Yeah.
And it's cool, man. Like I mean, people, I do the music a lot. When something became to, I was like, oh, it's not mine anymore. I'm like, it's very elitist and hipstery, but at the same time, you do have a sense of ownership. I'm like, dude, I was there, man. Like you all don't know, man. I was there. So like, but I love that you guys had that whole run in the Asylum, and then we're like, we're out of here, man. You guys are out of here. We're out too. It's a new era you're starting, and it's different.
Yeah. And then, maybe about a year later, I moved to Florida, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, you're gonna go?" Like, no, I'm wrestling on shows around there. It would have been weird to be like, I'm a mark now, but not.
Yeah, that's tough.
So I never went back. I've maybe been to 2 shows as a fan since then, to be honest. Like one, maybe like a SmackDown taping, and then I went to the Cruiserweight Classic finale a couple years ago, and that was about it.
No kidding, man. That's fantastic.
I saw Eric Young before that show, actually.
Did you?
He was walking into the building. I was like, "Hey, Eric Young, how's it going?" I was like, "Saving section," and he kind of took a minute. He was like, "Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah." And he kind of had like a little moment there. He was just like, "Oh yeah, that's right. I remember." He was really young at that point. So, and that was it. That's pretty much the only 2 shows I think I've been to since.
I think it's fantastic. I think it's fantastic that you're the book ends, man. The book ends with the Asylum with you guys. I think it's amazing.
That's wild.
I love it even more now. I love you two even more now. You're all like, fuck it, we're out. So
no, and look, we don't blame you. It's like, oh, why didn't you go? Because we watch the product now, and I review it every week with some of the crew here. But I completely understand why you did it. I can't even imagine. Like I went to wrestling back then a little bit, and it got just 20 years ago, just thinking about how fuzzy it is. Like I don't remember local stuff that well back then, but I could totally get why you guys, like you're part of the revolution. You're there live. You're all the time. You're getting featured on TV. I mean, not that some fans just have to be on TV and that's what they go for.
Yeah.
But you guys were supporting who you loved and really made a thing out of it. You made merch. You did all that stuff, and that's commendable. And I get why you felt like thrown to the side. That I get that.
Dude, yeah, I feel it too. And I'll tell you what. I'll keep up with the new stuff, but man, to me, nothing beats the Asylum. That's my thing. Me and my buddy Dave, who I watched them all with, who's been on the show too. Like that was our thing. We went on, like we followed them through. We went to house shows, went to like Bound for Glories and stuff. But man, to me, like it's just a different time. And when I told Eric Young, I'm like, I grew up with you, dude. Like your first debut in the Asylum, they had the wrong name on your lower third. They even fucked up your name. I remember that. I remember they used Eric Young, but it said like Gerald Clark or some shit. I was like, damn, he got poor bastard. They didn't even fix it in post for the guy. And I was like, fuck. But it's like it was a different time, and it was something so progressive at the time. And I feel like they lost that spirit. Like they should have had that. Can I get that spirit back now? They're trying to really catch things back up again and find that place again. But it would have been cool to kind of go back to those roots of like, just go balls out, man. Be the different one. Because you all were the different one at the time. Like you were doing something unique. But it was a cool time, man. But I love the stories, dude. Like that's fun shit. I'm marking out that you're telling me it ended with the Asylum for you two. Like that's the best shit. That's the best part of this whole thing is you're like, we're done. We have now retired the saving section.
Well, that was mostly the plan, at least for me and Chris a little bit, because we were actually, remember the original gut check. They didn't really release too much information about that. We thought it was just a kind of like a mass tryout. Yeah. But we ended up talking to Scott D'Amore before one of the shows, probably around that summer, June-ish, May-ish, maybe even later. I don't remember. But we were asking him questions about it. He was like, it's more for like guys that have kind of been in it like a year or two. Like we're just trying to get, somebody that may have a good look and then train them up a little bit more, which they got somebody who went to Scott D'Amore's BCW for a while. I can't remember his name, but I don't think he really worked out too much. So we were like, okay, well, do you have any suggestions? And he was like, yeah, just, if you have the money, go, somewhere like really good. I was thinking about going up to Konnan. Quackenbush's school was thrown out there, but we just decided, we're poor. Like, there's no way we can do that. So we just, I stayed local, got trained, by somebody that we, ended up meeting through the Asylum. His dad ended up putting us on some shows, and the first show we worked actually had Bagwell on top.
Oh yeah.
So like I've thought about hitting him up on Twitter now that he's a big Twitter guy now. And being like, hey man, first show you were there. They give you $1,000 and you showed up late, but no.
Everybody talked shit about him until he got there, and then everybody was like his best friend.
It was really weird.
I got a great buff story for you. If you got a second, this is great. Because he's hilarious. But I was at the Atlanta airport at the security. This is like 2002. It was like post 9/11. So I mean, shit is like, lines off, like lines beyond lines. And it's a big ass line in Atlanta. This is an important part of the story. This is Atlanta, WCW territory, right? And I'm sitting there in line. I hear this like buzzing, like behind us, commotion, like following a crowd. I go, what's going on, man? I turn around. I see like security. I see people just going like nuts in the line that I'm in. And fucking Buff Bagwell, escorted by security, is strutting past the line. And everybody's like, Buff's and stuff, NWO. And every time somebody says something, they're like, Buff Bagwell goes, Buff Daddy's here, NWO for life, Daddy, baby. And he's just fucking strutting. And every time somebody says something, they're like American man. He goes, Riggs is my boy. And he's fucking commenting. And I'm just like, what the fuck is happening? And like, dude, it was like fucking Jesus is walking through the Atlanta airport, because every single head turned to look at this, and the dude strutted right at this. This is fucking post 9/11, man. This dude walks right to security like, Buff Daddy, any belts in there? He's like, yeah, nah, a little light. No, Teddy Turner ain't paying no belts, man. And like fucking struts right there. They're like, come on in. He just got the old hat. Just walks up, puts the hat on, fucking walks right to the gate. I'm like, what did I just witness? What did I just see happen? Unbelievable, man. It was like one of the most amazing scenes I have ever seen happen live in person. I was like, this really fucking happens.
And what year was this?
2002. Like WCW had been closed for a year, right? At this point. Mm-hmm. So it's still like fresh to everybody. He's probably working some indie and like blowing my mind. I don't even know what was happening right now, but it was like an amazing. This has got
to be after his failed tryout, unfortunately.
I'm sure this is before, probably afterwards, after the whole WWE debate. But it just showed me that I'm like, this guy's turning heads from every single person in this airport. Like, yeah, I doubt a young buck is turning anybody's head in the airport. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not happening, man. Like, it was crazy. But good. That was my Buff Bagwell moment. Just a great moment to see happen.
Yeah, out of all the people that I've ever worked with, he was the last one I expected to be like the coolest, like most humble type, you know, because he was, you know, he was still. This was like 05 when we did that show with him.
Yeah.
And like, you totally expect him to show up. You know, I mean, he was a little bit late. You know, they paid him up front $500 to show up 30 minutes late and still make money off of pictures and stuff like that. So you expected him to just kind of like walk in, talk to the guys that he was working, and that's about it. Shook everybody's hand, said hey to everybody, talked with it. I mean, he was totally cool. He did not act one bit like a guy that had been on TV for the past like decade.
That's cool, man.
It was wild. I was so impressed. Yeah,
Dougie Ray Sports Bar.
Yeah.
I have to say, when I think of TNA, I also always think of these 3 songs. It was that "This is My Town" like song. Nah, nah. I think it's Montgomery Gentry. They would play that, "Welcome to the Jungle," and that like, what is that really horrible techno song? "Sandstorm."
Well, remember
they would just play those 3. It was like a video package with each of those 3 songs.
Oh, really?
And they would play
what was that?
over and over. So you just listen to those 3 songs about like 8 times each before the show would start each week.
Yeah, there was a long. Yeah, before the pay-per-view went live, they would play this 10-minute video package of. And then
just
over
and over, like they would play it on.
There was that like one rap song with like the reggae drum on it, like as the intro. I forget what it was, but they would play that, and then they would go into like that Randy Savage offshoot rap song for the actual open. Yeah.
Yep. It's so funny to me that they were playing those songs because like everybody used "Welcome to the Jungle" for everything, but like Ring of Honor was fucking using "Immigrant Song" by Zeppelin. And Locomotive Breath by Jethro Tull for their intros. Like that was the kickoff to Ring of Honor. And I'm like, and TNA's fucking playing like, like Southern shit and like shitty techno. It's like, come on, man. Come on, guys. Play some metal or something, Come on. But that's awesome, man. That's hilarious. We always talk on the show about the video package, like the JB on his iMac video packages that he was doing. I remember he was doing them on. He would always talk about he'd be doing all those video packages on the airplane, like going and working, and he'd be cutting them up on the plane. It's like this is like iMac early days of like video editing, and it's JB doing like basic graphics, like the Abyss logos like flying in, like Abyss. It's
the spinning. It cracks me up. Is one of the last, the last ones they made was the Jeff Hardy. It's like. It's like in the future, and it's all like spinning numbers and letters.
It's like green spiral in C.
And then they do the. I remember that because it felt like a Chris Jericho like 1999 debut when they put it on the video, because it was just like that, and then it flips over Jeff Hardy like the words or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Crowd fucking goes nuts. Except
you heard it. You heard it, man. Like on the.
I barked a little bit. I was a Jeff Hardy fan. I remember though, when I met him after that show, I told him, I said, your brother Matt's actually my favorite wrestler, and he's like, "That's okay, man. He's my favorite wrestler too."
That was the only time we ever got to talk to Jeff Hardy. He was getting hounded by every female alive.
I bet.
It was impossible to get in.
I was like, Jeff Hardy, okay. Like,
he's a nice guy. He's a super nice dude. Like he really is. I met him like twice. He's a really nice dude. They're both good dudes. Like, you and Matt's cool, man. Like, he's a really nice guy. Like, I picked him up at the airport once, and we had him at AEW. I mean, we talked about everything for like an hour, and the dude was just sweet as hell, man. Like, he's just a good old dude. They're just good Southern boys, I mean, at the end of the day, like, they got their demons and ups and downs like anybody, but they're nice guys. I just was never a big fan of the hard, like, Jeff stuff. It just never clicked with me as a wrestling fan. Just wasn't my style of stuff, but dude's a good dude. He's a nice guy. I can't take it away from him.
Interrupt, but I think I actually have to go. I think my computer's about to drop out.
All
I just want to thank you guys for having me.
Thank
really
you, man.
Thanks for the story.
Talk to y'all. And see Andy. It's been too long.
Oh, you just broke kayfabe, man. We got the shit name over here. Thank you, Chris, man. We appreciate it, dude. Thank you so much for being on with us.
Y'all. Congrats on your brother.
Keep in touch, man. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna give you a follow. I'm gonna connect up with you after the show too. We're gonna edit. Thanks, brother. We're gonna edit out the real name drop there. We went how many weeks without getting the shoot name, and he broke it. That's awesome, man. Listen, dude.
Yeah, Chris doesn't have a lot of. I think I was his first follow tonight.
Oh, I gotta definitely give him a follow, man. No, that's cool.
Hopefully, he'll get a few follows tonight.
Nice, very nice. Listen, dude, I thank you for all of it, man. It was a blast to make a new friend, to meet somebody who was. It kills me now. I mean, I was when TNA started, I was 21. I was like, me and Dave should have been driving down to fucking Asylum to do road trips, man. We were just too happy watching them on paper. But it was also Wednesday nights. We were like, we were in school. It's like we didn't do it. But I'm like, damn, we should have just driven down there once or twice, at least to see it. But at least I got to go once. That was my crown on that. But that's cool that you guys got to experience all that together. I'm glad you two got to see each other today after a long ass time.
Yeah, it has probably a good 6-7 years.
That's cool, man.
Haven't even been outside of the Florida area for a while now.
Yeah.
So that was wild. The one show that I think about it now, the one show I regret not going to, I mean, I wouldn't have been able to, but if I had known beforehand that Sabin was going to get the belt, I would have gone to that.
Yeah.
Because I was going to WKU at the time. So, Louisville wouldn't have been that, much of a trek at that point, but I was actually in Florida, for the holiday or whatever, the summer, whichever it was.
Mm-hmm.
And then I found, somebody sent me a message of, like a picture of Sabin holding the belt. I was like, of all the people to get,
I know, man.
It was crushed. Because that would have been cool, He probably would have dug that if, seeing a Sabin section shirt in the crowd.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, man.
Dude,
that's the one that hurts that I was never able to go to.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I bet that because it would have been like the perfect build to it all.
Exactly.
You all be in there with him. So that would have been cool. Yeah, he's a real nice dude, man. He worked AAW for a long time here. He was coming actually during those Impact years. Our TNA years. He was coming up here a lot. Him and Shelley. AAW started 2004. They started coming up here, I think 2006, 2007, I want to say, maybe. But they were up here enough that and this is before I worked for the company. They had they put a best of out. There's a best of DVD out. They were up here so much. And so, and they're Detroit guys. So I was, there was a Detroit car coming all the time. But they're two guys who just like top game. They took breaks and they had their injuries, but they stayed healthy, man. They can still fucking go, man. Mm-hmm. It's crazy to see Chris Sabin today still be as top game as he is, man.
Probably in better shape than,
100%.
a decade ago, for sure. Like, it's wild to see him, like, doing what he's still able to do at, probably, 40-ish almost.
We got two Chris Sabin sound bites here. I'm going to play them for you because you're Sabin section. So we got this one.
I love this match!
then there's this one.
That is not an appropriate question.
It's like he's just comedic now. You know what I mean? He's that dude. We gotta get you one of those. I am Chris Sabin t-shirt. I mean, I feel like you need to have that shirt. I'm gonna get Bill. We're gonna get down to this one of these shows. I'm gonna pick you up a shirt. I'm gonna get you that shirt to you. I figure that has to at least go next to the Sabin section shirt. So we'll get it. We'll figure this out. We'll figure this one out, man.
There you go.
But send us that design. I
will
absolutely host it on our Pro Wrestling Tees. It's perfect time to do it. 20th, and I say it in public with everybody listening here. Any money that comes from that, I'm going right to you, man. We'll PayPal that right to you, brother. That's anything that sells, it goes right to you.
Oh yeah.
You all put in your time at the Asylum enough to earn a few bucks for a few bucks back 20 years later.
Cool.
But dude,
appreciate that.
Yeah. So let's wrap it up, man. Guys, listen, it's been a hell of a run doing 111 of these with Jay by my side on this. So Jay, man, thank you for doing this with me.
Dude, it's like I said, it was for those of you that maybe came in like partway through or whatever, it was the first original content we got back to doing on this channel while still on the lounge.
Yeah.
That kind of started the wheels turning like, well, let's you got this channel over here, and I don't remember exactly how and why it started, but this will always go down as some of the most proudest, like doing this whole series, like, with the exception, I know I've probably missed a few episodes here and there, but I'm damn proud of this series, because I've always been curious of what they did beforehand. And now I know, and it as wonky as some of it is, and we had some chuckles like, oh man, like this one was a stinker, or this one was, maybe top 5 best of the whole series or whatever. Dude, it was all a blast. Thank you.
Thank you, Brad. No, a great time reliving it for me. 111 episodes. Meeting Sabinite, having Dave join us, Goldylocks, Chris Harris, Vince Russo, having people reach out to us on Twitter. Pat Kenny reaching out, Big Vito. These guys telling us what a thank you for doing this and talking about these years. Things like that, and just the list goes on. There's so many more I can't remember who all did. And, even Dixie once, was like, some episodes sparked her. She's like, oh my gosh, I remember this one. It's like, damn, man, we got the Queen to even say something about it. So
yeah,
it was cool, man. It's awesome to know that, like, I even heard from the grapevine that, like, Jared knows of the show. Obviously he's doing his own now, talking about this stuff, but Jarrett and Conrad were familiar with us and said we did a great job, and David Penzer, like all these guys, man. So definitely thank you to everybody who went along with the ride, even to the people who hung out in all these chats who never watched the show and just hung out with them and just listened in. I'm glad. Hopefully you go back and watch them. As you can tell by Sabinite, these are special times, man. There was a unique time in wrestling. So
right.
Probably the last era of, like, that real innocence of that before that pre-internet boom era. Right? It's Sabinite. It's like that's before internet took it over and started just giving everybody too much to say about this shit. This was it. It was an innocent time. It was a unique time to be a fan. It was something new. You were on the ground floor or something. And then no slash to Ring of Honor, like, we were almost every TNA fan who was, like, serious fan was watching Ring of Honor too, because these guys were going there too. And so very amazing time period. I wish I could even put into words. Like, a lot of these kids today just don't get it. Like, you all just don't understand it how we do. And I encourage you all to go back, watch this stuff, see where all today's major guys start, like Sabin, Kazarian, AJ Styles. Like, they're all on TV today. Like, this is where it happened. So yeah, good stuff, man. But thank you again. Let's get our quick plugs here. Sabinite, your Twitter's on the screen, but for audio people, let us know where they can follow you.
For now, it's First Sabinite until I've actually told J-Bone before. I'm going to try to get back into wrestling for at least maybe 5 to 10 matches. So I'm going to do a rebrand at that point.
No kidding. You're getting back in the ring, huh?
I'm going to try. Cool. I'm going to try. I've gone through some medical stuff the past couple of years. So if the doctors will allow it, I'll do, maybe 5 to 10 in Florida and Tennessee back.
Just tell the doctors it's thumb wrestling.
Exactly.
I can thump wrestle, right? Hey, listen, brother, if you want to make it up here, I know it's a trek. You want to get up here, I'll get you on an AAW show, at least that for our, like, we do some pre-show TV taping stuff that goes on YouTube and things like that. So it's called Alive. It's like a series called Alive. We got, we tape a series of matches of that. If you want to put that on your cage match, man, I got you. You want to add us to it, I will assure you a spot on that.
That would be great.
You let me know.
If I can do it, I'll do it. But
if there's a car coming up, I'll let you know. Awesome. If you're clear to do it and there's a car coming up from that way, you let me know. We'll arrange it.
Cool. If I can't do it, I'm gonna try to get into commentary, or at least some sort of production. There's some promotions out here that people that I used to work with a lot are doing that could use some help. So cool. In some capacity, I'm coming back to wrestling. So at that point, cool. I'll rebrand. But for now, it's First Sabinite on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, pretty much anything that anybody can be on.
Awesome.
That's where it's at.
Nice.
Oh yeah, man. Very cool. Very cool. Guys, give him a follow. Please connect up with him. He's been a great brother, a great new friend that we met through this. And thank you so much, man, for all the inside track on all these episodes, man. the most
thank
fun
you for
shit.
pulling me back down this road, man. I never actually thought anybody would go back and like watch these shows or even really talk about it. Like for the past 10, 15, almost 20 years, nobody's really talked about these shows. Like you said, that Russo said, like these are forgotten. Yeah, niche thing, and they're just very forgotten in the scope of pro wrestling in general. Especially this time, the pre-internet time where it's like it just does, the Wayback Machine doesn't go that far.
No, it doesn't.
It's so like I never thought I'd be sitting here again, really talking about TNA or like Asylum stuff. So like, thank you guys for actually like existing and me stumbling into you,
I'm glad
yanking me down the trail of memories, and because I never thought I'd be yanking this out and showing anybody.
That is awesome. That is slick.
I love it, man. No, it's great because one thing what killed me was I talked about on the show here too is 20th year. It shocks me that they don't play clips from this era. Once in a great while they would put a clip on, but they don't play clips. I was saying you should have been playing all these episodes because they run Impact shows all afternoon on Thursdays prior to the new episode. I'm like, run the Asylum, man. Just put the Asylum on. Like, relive it. Go in order. Let people see a young AJ. Like, he's going to be on SmackDown Friday, whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
Let these people see, like, this was a 20-year-old
Right.
AJ. Like,
or even in 2020 when he was about to main event WrestleMania.
yeah, man. Like,
Crazy.
Put him on a show.
put the stuff out there. I mean, like Russo was saying, he's the best shows that no one got to see because they were hidden behind a paywall, and so I'm like, now put them out for free. Fuck it, just put this shit out there. So it's a little late now. He's the 20th year's coming up in a month, but I find a way. Like, they got to find a way to really make a big deal out of this, man, somehow. But we'll see what happens. But either way, I'm glad we're here. We did it, and maybe somebody will find these and start going through. And this has encouraged people to go back and watch. I know some of our listeners for sure started watching these because of us. So I'm glad we were able to do that.
Yeah.
But Jay, where can they follow you, man?
They can follow me on the Twitter box at JBone5150. That's JAYBONE 5150. You can also catch me over on that other little podcast called Smash This Podcast. It's on YouTube, Twitch, and wherever you get your podcast audio.
Very nice. Are you streaming tomorrow or anything? What do you got coming up?
Well, I think we're doing the family dinner tomorrow. What I have to figure out what I'm going to be doing is what am I going to do on Monday nights now? I mean,
we'll figure something out.
I mean, do I have to go back to watching Raw? What am I going to do?
You might have to, pal, until we figure something out for this channel. Right now, Mondays are done after today. We'll figure out what's going to happen after. I was thinking about maybe if we can start scoring some interviews and start bringing some of our Goldie and Chris back. We first start with them and start branching out. Maybe I'll dig up a couple of old Asylum folks. Maybe I'll get Mikey Batts and Gerald Clark up here or something. Hey, how was that one win you had? But maybe we'll find Rick Santel down and hunt him down somewhere, man.
If you do,
you're on.
If you do, let me know because I haven't heard from him in so long.
I'm gonna look him up. I'm gonna try to find him.
He was outside of us, being really cool. Would say he was our guy. Him and Tiny.
Tiny
for sure. Tiny went to bat with us, over that ICP thing when we almost got banned. But Rick Santel was our guy. Like that was our dude.
What about Miss Sarah, the ticket lady? What about Miss Sarah?
I loved her. She was.
I loved her too.
She was crazy. She was.
Oh, she was
one of those types of old ladies that would probably beat the shit out of everybody in the building. But
tough chick, man. She was a former wrestler. She was married to Corsica Joe, right, and all that. Yeah. Yep. She was a tough chick, man. She looked it too. The whole thing with Kid Kash beating her up, and she slapped the shit. I'm like, remember that episode almost made me. I was like, oh my god, he's whooping her ass, man. Like he's beating the shit out of Miss Sarah.
Crazy.
But dude, great shit. Oh, I can go.
And of course, Bert Prentice, he did. He helped me a lot, in that first year too, like getting booked.
Did he pass,
just helping
or is he
out
still
too.
alive?
Yeah, he passed away 6 months or so ago.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Something around there. That was really sad, but gotta mention him. He was a big part because he would be there at the TNA shows too. At the start of pretty much every show, they would have somebody come out and hype up the crowd and then give it over to Borash, and he would hype up, and usually that guy to start was Bird Prentice.
Yeah.
And he was always cool. He was cool with us. He would shout us out too. I hear the Saving section again. Those guys up there, those damn Sabinites again. He would kind of do that, get us riled up, and then hand it over to Borash, and then they go into explosion. But after I got trained, Bird helped me out a lot too. So
that's awesome.
Got to shout him out too.
Definitely. I want to give a shout. Personally, I want to give a shout from that era. Definitely, Bob Ryder was a huge part of that time because I remember him. They were very, there was still, it was like a local company in a sense. Like I would email him, ideas and questions, and it'd be Bob usually replying. He would be like the internet guy. And I would, do suggestions like, can you guys do a best of Christopher Daniels? Things like, sure thing, buddy, we'll get on this. But like, I remember him being so cool that he was. I mean, I was 22. I wasn't a kid, but I was still a fucking mark, But I was like, can you help out an agent? Whatever. But like, he would communicate back, and he would take ideas and what did you like about last week's show, and I'd tell him and shit. And I'm like, it was cool that they had that, that they were still so. That's what you got with the Asylum. The Asylum it was local. They were talking to you, and it was ours. It was just ours. That's how I could put it. And it's definitely Bob was cool at that time. And I gotta say, Jared, for all whatever booking faults there are, he was always very charming. He's definitely a worker. He knows how to charm the shit out of people.
Oh, hell yeah.
Every time I met him, he did remember. He could definitely remembered people, and he would always remember like, did I meet you in Chicago once? I was like, God damn, I was like, fuck it, take my money. You put me over. Just take all my money here. So
that reminds me, I actually went to a Global Force show. I forgot all about that in Bowling Green.
Oh, did you?
In 2015, I totally forgot about that. One of their baseball stadium shows.
Yeah, I went to the same year.
And I wanted to go up and say hey, saving section, man. I don't know if you remember that.
He totally would have.
Like, he was totally busy, doing all that. But man, totally forgot about that.
Good stuff. I went to that same tour. I went to the one in Davenport, Iowa. And like Michael Shane, it was like Michael Shane's last run was on that. He was done after that, and I was like, damn, fucking Michael Shane on there, and what the hell's his other name that he went by? I forgot.
Matt Bentley.
Matt Bentley, Matt Bentley's there. Like, it was just so crazy, man. But good times. But all right, let me wrap it up, and we're going long. But guys, you can get me at Trent Zuberry over on Twitter, the show at We Talk Impact, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Give us a follow on all those different platforms: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at We Talk Impact. Audio, Apple Podcast, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, Spotify, Amazon, Pandora. Rate, review, and subscribe, guys. The throwback. Remember, it is right now. It's done. We finished them. We'll figure something out to do Mondays, but we're not sure what yet. We'll let you guys know. But in the meantime, twitch.tv/Total Nonstop Impact, youtube.com/Total Nonstop Impact, prowrestlingtees.com/Total Nonstop Impact will soon feature a classic Sabin section t-shirt, and we will let you guys know when that's up. And then also Spreadshirt, guys. Tons of merch on Spreadshirt, logo merchandise. Link is in the description below, as is the Discord and Patreon. Patreon.com/We Talk Impact. Tons of bonus shows. Go check that out, guys. But join the Discord, guys. It's a great community. There's a million different rooms to jump in and out of, merch, and you can talk WWE if you want. There's food of the day. Like we got a great community going on there. So jump in, hang out with everybody in the Discord. The link is in the description. But other than that, Sabin, I'm going to give you a choice, man. I'm sure you're going to want a sound bite of Sabin. Which one did you like out of those two? We're gonna play one of them for you on the way out of here.
Oh man!
So that's I love
First,
this match.
let me drop a quick quick sound bite.
Yeah.
Fuck the heel section.
J-Bone, you know what to do. You know what to do and clip that one.
There you go.
Fuck the heel section is what indeed. All right.
I know Brad would hate me using that word, but fuck the heel section. Sorry, brother. He was our tight-lipped Christian man of the group, but fuck the heel section.
All three, J-Bone, I want all three of those clipped into one montage, and then when I see those bastards at a show in Milwaukee next time, I'm gonna fucking like, there you go. Like,
there you go.
This,
Merry Christmas.
This was from the Sabin section. Fuck this.
we were actually kind of cool with them towards the end, but we had a big feud. But some of them, that were still left over, like at the end, came and sat with us in the main event of this show.
Oh, really?
For a little bit. But,
Oh,
like,
that's funny.
it was kind of cool. So, like, we kind of, same thing with the Juggalos. Like, in the end, we put, shook hands and, wiped the slate clean. But, the other
Break
heel
bread.
section 1, whatever, I think his name was Doug.
Mm-hmm.
You might want to take that back out. Heel section 1, fuck you.
I love it. The feud never dies, man. That's awesome. There's some feuds that never die, and
20
that's one of
years
them.
later.
I love it. That 20 years later, that feud is still alive and well, man. All right. On that note, let's soundbite it. Either I love this match or not appropriate. Which one do you want out of those two?
Oh, we got to go not appropriate now.
All right, not appropriate. Nice. Here we go. I'm gonna end it. The last soundbite for Throwback is gonna be not appropriate.
That is not an appropriate question.
All right, thanks, brother. All right, let's get the outro to hang out. Sam, we're gonna say a proper goodbye to you after we're off the air here, guys. Thank you again for joining us. It's been a hell of a ride. Go back and watch the old reviews. See us from episode 1 to 111. Man, we did a lot of these. Sabinitis will be hitting pro wrestling tees. I promise you that. So it's happening.
Hell
So.
yeah.
Get your shirts, and we'll let you guys know on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram when it's up, and then we'll put an order link up there, and then we'll get that going. All right, bye everybody. We'll be in touch on what's gonna replace this on Mondays, but stay tuned, and yes, we'll see you guys every third Wednesday for TNI UK. Bison Joe and Steve will be on TNI UK. Join them on Wednesday, guys. Other than that, have a great night, everybody. We will talk to you later.